We're live now.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, everybody. So we're so sorry we're late. You know how life is. That's all I have to say. But nearly every YouTuber or whatever ends up saying that they're late and stuff with streams. You guys will understand. And I'm going to hand over the reins to the lovely Kat. She is going to be hosting for this live stream for our July blog tour. So take it away, Kat, with the intro, and as we usually do.
Well, hello, everybody. I am Kat, and I'm from Grim Girl and president of OWLS. And today we have Lita and Naja, our extraordinary PR people who go through life fixing all of my mistakes and making sure that this live actually works. And we are going to be talking about our OWLS tour. And, well, this past month, July's OWLS tour, which was titled Mirrors, and it was Magic Mirror on the Wall, who's the fairest one of all. When we look in the mirror, what do we see? Do we see ourselves or someone we don't want to be? This month's theme, we will be exploring some of our favorite anime and other pop culture media that redefine individual beauty inside and out. Some topics we may explore are physical appearances, social expectations on gender, and the importance of self-confidence. And just a fun fact, I always like to point this out. It is actually Lynn who always writes these for us. So she always does a really cool job of keeping it general and broad. So yay for Lynn! We have our blog post. And you guys want to say a little intro on your guys' selves? Besides how you save my life on a regular basis?
Well,
Lita, go first.
why do I have to go first? I'm drinking tea. I do apologize, people.
You asked me a question that I was responding to.
Sorry. I do apologize. I'm not 100% well, so you have to put up with me drinking tea. Sorry. Okay, so I'll give my little intro. I know, what is my intro? I don't really have like a main intro. Okay, well, I'm known as Lita Kino here on the interwebs, as I say. I'm a casual YouTuber. I am a blogger, have my own blog. I do stuff for OWLS, and I do other things as well, too many things. And I'm known as supposed to be the public officer and stuff, but I'm in charge of all the YouTube side of things because Naja and Kat are absolutely hopeless, really. The whole thing, if I actually put it out for them plainly of how you actually do it, they could easily manage it. So they could, if it was a time I could not do the stream, I would gather that up and they'd have to do it all on their own.
We'll laugh.
But yes, that is who I am. Then again, everybody in the freaking anime blogging community knows who I am by now. Okay, your turn, Naja.
I am. Sorry.
Crocheting.
Yes, I am. I am crocheting. But I'm Naja. I go by Poke Ninja 90. I run an Otome Games blog, and I am the head of PR. I'm the one who pulls the strings and makes sure that everybody else does everything so I don't have to. It's wonderful. If you guys respond to the email to be a part of OWLS, I'm usually the one who contacts you first. I say, hey, what's up? Tell you the rules, what's going on, and get you uploaded to all of our documents and things like that. Sometimes I do other things, but generally I don't tell people I do other things because it's none of your business. Well, I do a lot of things sometimes, but I don't publicize it. So yeah, that's it. I'm currently on hiatus, and it's not really a hiatus. More like I just haven't had the energy to write anything for my blog, so I'll figure it out.
Before my the energy.
Oh yeah. And like I said, I'm crocheting, so if I look away from the camera, that's what I'm doing. And that's my spiel.
That's my spiel. All right. Well, our first person to like, I guess we're just gonna go in order today, like as usual.
Wait. I have something important to say.
Oh, sorry.
2 things. 1.
Right.
We have to welcome our brand new member. We had a new member this just last month. So we had Scott from Mechanical Anime Reviews. I don't know if he's in the chat. I don't know. But just wanted to welcome him. I did. And because we had 3 new people as well during this blog tour. It's their first blog tour. We'll get around to talking about them eventually because we have a lot of posts to get through, people. A lot. And second, I usually give out a little treats, or I don't rate people's, I give people a little treat, sweet treats. So this time I picked cookies because who doesn't love cookies?
I swear we were hooting. I thought we agreed we were hooting this time.
People get a hoot and then they get cookies.
If they're getting cookies, who wants a hoot then?
Yeah, somebody will get the almighty most well-known cookie ever. Does everybody know what that is?
Which one?
Yeah.
That's what my thought was going to be with chocolate chip. That's like the most.
We'll find out.
I feel like I've been cheated. I don't. I thought this was going to be some epic like magic cookie that we don't have in the States, but no, it's chocolate chip.
I do. I do have something to tell you later on. Don't you worry.
Oh my god.
Yeah, yes.
Oh.
A cookie you may have never heard of.
It better have to do with My Hero Academia. Otherwise.
My Hero Academia. You want a Deku cookie.
Oh my god, yes. Please. Yes.
In the shape of his head.
I'll take one. Alright. You did this month's blog tour topic. You did the spiel on that.
I did. Got it.
What are you doing? Checking on it. Checking on it.
I'm checking stuff. I'm looking. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and go into the post. What?
I was trying to. What is the expression? I've crossed all my T's and dotted my I's. Yes, that's what it is. I crossed my T's and dotted my I's. That's what she's doing. I got it all done.
Yes. You covered all of our bases this time around.
Yes, right. We can get into the blog post. And our first one isn't a blog post. It's a blog post by Shay. And it
sounded exactly the same.
It does. A video log on her YouTube channel. But it was Paradise Kiss and the self-confidence and acceptance. And do you two watch K-dramas?
Yes.
When I first saw Paradise Kiss, I thought of are you thinking like that K-drama? And I'm pretty sure like the Taiwan name of it is Paradise Kiss, but the Japanese version is Playful Kiss. And I thought that I was gonna be on that show. And yeah, so I was like really confused when I first started to watch this, and I realized that she's talking about she's talking about an anime style Paradise Kiss. I was like, what is that?
But Playful Kiss is the Korean version for
the Korean version, and isn't the Taiwan version Paradise Kiss? Isn't that what the Taiwan version is called of it?
Yeah. Playful Kiss is for like Hana Danko Yori. Which is, like the Japanese drama, which is Mischievous Kiss, which is for the anime, which I've forgotten the name of something. I think it's Playful.
But so when I saw her video, I thought of the Taiwan K-drama, and so then I started watching what she's talking about, and she was doing when she was describing what the show is about. I'm like, this is not what it what is that? And then I realized that we were talking about 2 different shows, and I was super embarrassed because I was
Shame.
So I haven't. So moral of the story is I've actually never seen the Paradise Kiss anime.
What?
So,
oh my god!
Out of my butt.
You are banished from the chat now.
like she's talking about this character who's like, you know, going like at first is like, you know, kind of trapped by her parents' wishes, and then it's like finding her own and deciding to do her own thing. And I was like, yeah, girl, get it. Like I haven't seen the show, but now I kind of want to. So I thought it was a pretty good post, and I think it's cool that we're getting more YouTubers who are doing videos versus blog posts about things. So I think that that was cool. Like I always enjoy when Shay does like a post because I think it's cool to see that side of Owls. So all around, I liked it, especially once I figured out what show was actually happening. I liked it.
Shame.
I know, I have to like sit in the corner of shame now.
Yes, you do.
Next up, are we doing Lita next?
Yes.
So this is the order we're going in. I see how it is. No, Naja can go next because I like going last because then I can give the finale of who gets a cookie.
Oh, that's true. So then now I think there has to be a change. That's second.
Okay. If you don't mind, I gotta read something real quick. So I love Paradise Kiss. Actually, I love all of Yuzawa's works. I had to look her name up because I forgot real quick. But I absolutely love Paradise Kiss, except I hate the ending. I'm sorry. I really, really was salty about that. I'm not gonna spoil it for you guys if you haven't seen it like Kat, but my face when I got to that ending was just like, really? This is unfair. This is like, you put me through all of this for nothing. But what I really liked about the series is you have the main character. I can't remember her name. Sorry. I'm terrible. It was years ago. But you have the main character who she's not really fashion-y. She doesn't really fit in with the group that she's with, these artsy groups of people, this artsy group of students. And when she meets them, she kind of comes into herself. She figures out where she wants to be and what she wants to do with her life. And it's just a really great story. I'm doing a really bad job of describing it as usual, but she kind of comes into her own through them. And even if their relationships don't remain like, I'm pissed. I'm sorry. I'm still mad about this. But even if they don't keep their lasting relationship, she's still changed by the experience. And she becomes a better person for it in the end of the day. And it really feels like this anime really fit in well with our mirror image because, like I said at the beginning, she goes through a whole transformation. She becomes this whole new person, but it doesn't necessarily change who she is. She just becomes a better her. So I really appreciated that video that Shay did. It was awesome. Freaking awesome. Great choice. Now, Lita, it's your turn. She gets 2 hoots from me. Hoot hoot.
Hoot hoot.
2 hoots. For those who don't know, I just named us, I think, where was it? I don't remember what blog tour it was, but we just called ourselves we are the 3 outlets. We are the trio of outlets. Anyway, that's a boring fact because we are the lovely ladies who bring you every month. Talking about everybody's posts. No, we don't really. We're just going to roast everyone's after. We're just going to roast them.
Thank you. I'm glad you shared our secret. We should definitely roast these posts during the live stream. I especially roast posts that are longer than 1,000 words, just so you know. Especially like those.
Never mind. But not you. They haven't been lately. I've been super lazy about it, but I'll be back when I'm not feeling so sick.
I will not read your novels when you come back. You know for a fact I won't. I will just skim them and give a general observation. But Lita, you were saying about Paradise Kiss.
So Paradise Kiss, I do actually own it, and I agree with you about like the ending. It's not what I remember I was anticipating, but at the same time, I thought it was good. I think it was better that they went there.
It's a fitting end. I give you that. However, it doesn't stop me from being mad after all of that bullshit stuff we went through. I'm trying to censor myself.
I mean, Paradise Kiss doesn't just come from Yukari's perspective, which was what Shay was talking about in the video. And props to Shay. She is one of our vloggers, and we do have another vlogger in our team now. I I've been anticipating for maybe next month I might do a video for a change because I can swap between the two. We'll see. But Shay did a great job talking about self-confidence in Paradise Kiss. Especially she did it from Yukari's perspective, because Yukari was not sure what she wanted to do. She went against her mother's wishes, and Yukari ended up just she kind of got, in a way, like kind of thrown into it. And when you're kind of thrown into the deep end, that's when confidence does not, you know, reel itself so easily. It doesn't. And it wasn't until right up until the end is when Yukari began to feel a bit comfortable in her skin, even though I want to say some of the certain people that she met didn't exactly make it easy for her, particularly an influence known as George. I like George. So funny, that guy. Why are we giving the name George? Like,
because it sounded cool, that's why.
No, it would have been better if you called him like Alfred or something. You know,
like 90s, early 2000s. I think they were just trying to sound cool, man.
Yeah, they were trying to sound cool then. They spoiled it. They did.
Yeah.
They spoiled it. What's the name? What's the name of the character, by the way, in Paradise Kiss? The one that's dresses up as a woman, as a cross-dresser. She's got like the flower. He has got the flower on his eye. I can't remember his name, but he was an influence over Yukari, and that was giving off another theme also in Paradise Kiss, not just about self-confidence. That was about, like, you know, feeling comfortable in your own skin and that. But all around, Shay did really well, just in a very short video. I probably couldn't have done that in a short video. Excuse me, did someone say Lita is trans? Who said that? No, I certainly am not. Mirror Purple, I see you, Mirror Purple, I see you.
No, I think they were explaining the character to you, man, before we get up. They were just saying that the character is trans, not a cross-dresser.
I've heard that before. Somebody else called me that once, so that was a long time ago. Oh, that's all right.
There, Lita. See, Lita, she's trans. Oh my God.
No.
Commas are important, people. Commas.
Oh, now they're like, but really? No.
This just went to a completely different
Okay.
Next blog tour post.
Hey, I haven't given a cookie yet.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, no chocolate chip cookie here yet. I have yet to give that one. So, Shay, this is a dumb thing I do, by the way, just to entertain people. That's why I do it.
It's an awesome thing. Awesome.
What was it before? Before it was pies. And the last time it was tarts.
Pies, cookies. The popcorn was before that, I think.
So Shay gets a caramel popcorn cookie because I've had one before.
That sounds amazing.
Do tell about this magical cookie.
You tell. You just
go on. I'm curious about this cookie. It's magical caramel cookie.
Oh God! Again, it was back in the UK. It's always back in the UK. I mentioned it. Yeah, I've had a caramel popcorn cookie. It was in a little cafe shop. I was like 9, 10. And I'd never seen anything like it, and I had it, and it was amazing. There's nothing really more to say. So, Shay gets a rare cookie.
Because she's one of our rare bloggers. Yay!
Yay! So caramel, and I know she likes chocolate and stuff like that. So caramel popcorn cookie for Shay. Okay, I'm done.
I'm with you. We need to go to the UK. We definitely need to visit the UK. Let's go to UK.
Need to visit the UK now.
I do.
Yes, let's chip. We just all go at the same time.
It's just gonna be a food trip, and we're just gonna live stream us eating delicious things and be like,
Yes.
it's as good as this delicious popcorn caramel cookie, but you can't.
I'm down 110% for that. Let's go. I'm already ready. We have my bags packed somewhere. All right. Blog post number 2.
Number 2 goes to Aria Cross, and she did Beauty Within the Monster in the ancient Magus. Is it Magus Bride? Is that how you say it? I've never read
Magus. It's Magus.
Magus.
In the ancient Magus Bride. It sounds like and this is actually another one that I haven't read before, but like after reading Aria's post, like I get the gist of it. It's kind of like a Beauty and the Beast kind of a deal, which I would actually read because I kind of have a bit of an obsession with that story. So I've read like a bunch of different interpretations of it. I think East has been my favorite, but so I would definitely give this one a read. But I like this idea of, or I liked how she talked about, the main guy character kind of looks like his actual form is very beastly, and then he's able to meet another character who's basically able to kind of see past that. But also I thought the interesting thing about this one, the cool twist, was how she talks about the how the guy, like the monster character, because he looks the way he does, he's actually more accepting of other characters and of other people and the things that they're kind of going through, because he like has an understanding with what his life has been, which I thought was an interesting twist on the whole Beauty and the Beast thing, because usually it's mostly about the Beast not being able to accept himself and then like hating out and lashing on others. So I thought like, oh, that sounds like an interesting twist. So I was all for this post and this kind of idea and slant towards things. So I give it the owls hoot hoot, and I kind of
I'm sorry, I'll try not to laugh every time we hoot. Okay, I've actually never read this either, but it's on my must-read list. So yeah, definitely with Kat there, reading this post definitely kind of pushed me to maybe pick it up, move it from my wish list to my actual cart in Amazon, stuff.
Move it forward.
It kind of reminded me of Fruits Baskets a bit. I'm not going to go into much detail about that because someone else wrote about Fruits Baskets, and I'm going to talk about it more there. But the idea of a main character accepting someone despite their appearances in situations was really similar to that story. Like I said, I'll go into more detail with that, especially since I hate Fruits Baskets. So the fact that I enjoyed that post in particular, everybody gasped. Everybody later why I hate Fruits Baskets, and it's actually kind of stupid if you think about it, but
right, what is it? Tell me right now.
She picked the wrong guy. What the hell? Like, no.
I was going all the way. Like, he was my dream guy.
No, I swear to God, no. I was so mad. They set it up with that kid with the little hat and everything. I was just like, it's going to be him. It's going to be him. And then I had a friend spoil it for me. Volume 13. I'll never forget, because I had up to volume 13 that I bought with my own monies, my little pennies. And I had all 13 volumes. And a friend, she spoiled it for me. She told me who she chose. And I said, what? She immediately sold all of my volumes and have not touched it since. So, I have never sold manga that I bought. Not even Vampire Knight. I hate Vampire Knight. And I still have those volumes on my bookshelf as a reminder. But Fruit Baskets, I sold those suckers so fast.
No.
I thought she would choose Yuki. I was so devastated. And then I found out she did. I was like, oh, thank God. She chose the right one.
I wanted her to pick him so bad. He needed love. But I needed a girl in the end. But it wasn't the right one.
There you have it, folks. It's a Naja rant. You're treated to a Naja rant during this
manga,
stream.
Fruit Basket, is the reason why I spoil every love triangle I ever come across. No, I refuse to root for the wrong guy again. So I will spoil every love triangle before I even get to the end. Because I want to know who I'm rooting for from the start to finish. I don't want any surprises. want to be like, oh my God, she didn't choose that guy. Hell, no. I want to know up front. I want to know who's gonna be winner. I do it. Spoil it. Every last one. Yes, yes. But Ancient Magus Bride. My rant is over. I'm going back to the blog tour stuff. But I really liked Arya's post. Like I said before, she does a really good job of explaining start to finish. So it's kind of like she does what Taku does. She kind of explains it in a way that I don't ever have to read the manga, watch the anime, because she goes into such detail that I don't need to after it. I've got all the facts laid out. I really like that she talked about how the main guy character's appearance doesn't, like Kat said, doesn't really affect how he feels about himself. He's pretty much cool. He's like, it's the fact of life, it's the way it is. I think the only time that it really caused an issue for him was when I believe Arya said when his powers got out of control and he turned into his ultimate form, which was this hideous monster thing, and he kind of ran away until he kind of went back to normal, so as not to scare the main female lead. Don't remember her name, sorry. So vague terms. But what I also really liked is that Arya touched on how the main female lead was also kind of Beauty and the Beast, kind of, I don't know, I'm not doing this very well, how she also had her own issues with her own confidence and insecurities, even amongst magic users and things like that. She wasn't necessarily popular, you know, she wasn't what she would initially think of. I'm doing a really poor job, I'm sorry. But I like that she didn't just talk about the main guy's appearance, but she also talked about the female protagonist and how she kind of fit in with the mirror theme. So that was awesome, awesome. I'm done butchering my rant. Ride my brain. Lita. Oh, two hoots for me.
Do it.
Hoot.
Okay, so I am, if you guys didn't know, actually starting in October, this series is getting a 24 episode anime, 25.
I did not know that.
Over, I think it was sometime last year, the first White Fox, let's see, why was it White Fox Studio? No, Wit Studio brought out these 3 OVAs, or like little promo things, like kind of like a prelogue, an introduction into the story. But the stupid thing that they did was they brought it out over a so-called period of months. So the first one I think aired in I think it was September or August last year, and then the second part of the OVA, it didn't air till 6 months later, which was in February or January of this year. And then the third one didn't come out until 2 months ago. And then right after that, they announced that this was getting a 24, 25 episode series. And this is being done by Wit Studio, if everybody knows, for Attack on Titan, blah, blah, blah. And everybody would know this because it was all over at AX Anime Expo. It was, and just recently, it was the first 3 episodes of this series that I'm so jealous about. Was premiered in theaters in America. Damn you, Americans!
Hey! Something else.
This is all we have.
I didn't choose this. I didn't choose to be born here. It's not my fault. Please. Circumstances.
I've not read the manga. I've only watched the 3 OVA episode series, but I was so in love with this. I don't know why I've not read it yet. I don't know why I haven't. It's a really interesting story, as Arya has described in her post. That I knew she was going to pick this. I know exactly. She loves this series to death, and she's excited as the anime as much as me. And she described in an article about it is like the Beauty and the Beast anime version in a way. It is. It's a really interesting story of the setting that it's. I've not come across anything like this in terms of it being about magic and a bit of fantasy. I've not come anything like this for a very long time. And just watching the 3 OVA prologue episodes is really, really intrigued me. It did. And it's just so much to love about this series. And of course there's the main couple. I want to say couple. I'm not really, well, just the main pair, which is Chisei and Elias. And it's interesting seeing, you get to see the two perspectives, exactly how it was in sort of Belle and Beast. You know, Chisei, she had a very, very tough upbringing. She was not seen upon as really a human because of her ability to see the unseen, see all these yokai and spirits and that. And she felt like there was nowhere for her to go, and no one really cared about her. And even the family she was living with didn't care about her at all. And in a way, Elias saved her by demanding, saying that if you want to learn magic from me, you have to become my bride. And you know, he's the most, oh come on, he's probably the most eligible bachelor in the yokai spirit world, probably. And both of them begin to outweigh, for both of them, they both begin to outweigh of sort of, I guess, like, you know, for Chisei, her like loneliness, she feels like she's found a place like with Elias and that, even though in terms of how they end up coming to meet and forcing to become his bride, wasn't exactly, I don't think she liked that in the beginning. But the idea that over the course, I believe, in this anime and through the manga, that they, you know, they do get closer and stuff. But Elias obviously is not something that can feel anything, and obviously he doesn't begin to feel emotions and that until he gets closer to Chisei, and then they end up having this mutual, and they end up becoming, you know, a bit closer in that. And that is what exactly Aria did describe in her post, and that Chisei was not going to run away because Elias had given Chisei a lot more than he thought that he ever had, really, or she made him realize that she found a place with him, and why would she want to run away and stuff. And it just, you know, this post just, you know, screams the message. It doesn't matter your appearance or what you look like. The true people will stay in your life, basically. So I've extremely enjoyed Ari's post. I'm sorry for my long rant. Do apologize. So Aria, because I know she's still on hiatus right now, she gets an oatmeal cookie.
Woo.
I've only had a bit of an oatmeal cookie. I don't like them, but I'm sure Aria will, so she gets
I loved your post, but I'm going to give you the cookie I hate the most.
Well, oatmeal cookies, if they're with honey, okay, she gets oatmeal cookie with honey. There you go. Oatmeal honey cookie. Sorry. Okay. Okay. We should move on to the next post.
Matt. It was Matt. He did Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it is.
15.
Brotherhood, Final Fantasy, listen to your body. Math in the hat. I thought I'm a Final Fantasy fan myself. Not as huge. I wouldn't say I'm like as like super, like I couldn't tell you everything there's about it, but those are I buy those games. And we kind of talked about one of the characters, Prompto, when he's like in middle school and stuff. He's kind of like this awkward kid, and he's overweight, and he kind of just takes pictures and hangs out by himself and doesn't really like socialize with people. And he finally meets Prince Noctis, and the prince kind of makes a comment about him being too heavy, and he wasn't trying to be a douche or anything when he says it. He was just like saying it, but he takes it to heart, and then over like a course of years tries to get like more, like decides that he's going to be more fit, and then he becomes more fit, and that makes him like more confident. And Matt kind of makes the point of like discussing of, you know, is that something you need to do to feel confident, or really is it more about just being like confident in yourself and who you are as a person? I think there's definitely something to say about that. Something else I do like about that is the point that they made that he takes a few years to like get into shape. He's not like, I'm just going to like starve myself for, you know.
I'm glad you bring that up, because
he actually like tries to do it in a healthy way. So like that part, you know, I appreciated with the storyline that they did.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, like I do think like
Later.
body images and things like that. Like the biggest thing about it, body image is actually something that I struggled with a lot, especially in high school. So for me, like I feel like you just have to get into like a good place where you feel good about yourself. In high school, I was actually very, very tiny and thought I was like huge. I mean, I didn't break 100 until till after I got out of college. I was small, and like now I'm obviously like much heavier than that. But I feel like I'm a much happier person personally because I feel like I'm at a good mental state of mind. Like I think it's not I don't think it's like the number that determines your happiness. It's just you as like kind of like as a person and kind of becoming more confident in yourself. So I thought that opened a lot of different issues with that as well with this kind of a post. So I thought that was a good door opener to a lot of other conversations that could be had. And that's what I have to say about that. Which is Naja's turn.
Awesome! I'm glad you brought up that point about the transformation taking place over a couple of years and not a short period of time, like, oh, let's say a week, you know, because someone wrote a post about something, an anime where something similar happened, but it happened in a week, which I've not eaten for a week, and I can tell you that is not what happens when you don't eat for a week. You don't just shrink. You lose energy. But what I liked about Matt's post, first, I should clarify that I don't play Final Fantasy, have only seen Children once, years ago, and nothing else. So I don't really know much about the series other than what's been told to me or what I've kind of seen in memes and Tumblr, which is not accurate or not good for learning about anything important. I liked Matt's post. I really did. What I really liked about Matt's post was that he brought up a really good point. How Prompto lost all of this weight and he gained a friend and he gained all this confidence and gained all this acceptance, but he broached the question of whether or not changing yourself, that going through that drastic of a transformation really is a really good thing in the long run. I mean, yes, he gained all of these great aspects to his personality. He gained friends, he gained acceptance, he gained all these things, but is the method that he went about to gain these sort of confidences and these different things, was it the right way to go about things? And that's a really good question, because a lot of people, when they get ready they want to make a change in their life, the first thing they do is they start changing themselves. They start changing their personality, physical attributes, stuff like that. They cut their hair, they lose weight, they diet. But is that necessarily a healthy thing? Are you accepting yourself by going through these changes? Are you doing these changes for the right reasons? Or are you just doing it so that you can be accepted? And that was a really good point that was brought up. I don't think Prompto went about it because he wanted to be accepted. Not necessarily. I mean, he did, but not necessarily wholly. I feel like he did it to kind of gain confidence for himself. He did it for himself. He didn't do it with the express purpose of getting a friend. He did it for himself. He didn't like being called heavy. Now, like Kat said and like Matt said in the post, it wasn't said in a mean way. It was just kind of a statement. It was an obvious fact. It was like, you're heavy. It wasn't rude. It wasn't mean. It was just a fact. So I don't think he actually went through the changes to gain Noctis's approval. I'm hoping I said that right. But more so to gain his own personal approval, to fix himself for himself. So I like that, Matt. Good on you. 2 hoots for me. And I'm done. Lita.
I didn't like I forgot to, so I was like, I gotta get it in there. And I wanted
haven't even said anything yet. Fine, you don't want me to give my opinion. I see how it is.
Lita, we always love your opinion, by all means.
I don't like my opinions. Okay. So Nat's post, I was very interesting because actually there's not a lot of like Final Fantasy like animes or movies. I've only ever watched one called Final Fantasy Unlimited. and I've seen the Advent Children films and that, so I never heard of this. I also, when I was scrolling through Crunchyroll the other day, this is actually on Crunchyroll. So after reading this, I wanted to, after reading this, I really want to watch this now. And it was very surprising. I started reading this of how relatable this was to our topic for this month, and that exactly of what Matt says about the main character that it focuses on is Noctis. Is that right? Noctis? Is that how you say it? I don't know how
Noctis.
to add it. Noctis. Okay.
Noctis. Yeah.
And what was the reason that he wanted to change himself? Again, I read this like I think like very
saved a dog.
Is like a prince and kind of like a kind of like a cool dude, and he just makes Pronto like actually finally kind of talks to him, and he like makes a comment of him about him being heavy, and like not again in a mean way. It was just kind of a thing of like, yeah, you're a little like, kind of like an offhand like, oh well, you're a little heavy, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean.
He's like,
Matt's here right now. Hi, Matt. Sorry, I didn't know you were in the chat. I mean, I think anybody will be able to relate to this post if they like read through it. As soon as someone says, a comment about whatever it is, like I'll use myself as an example. I've been said, oh, you're a little weighty, and saying that to girl is like a no, that is a bad move. That is.
Who said that to you, Lita? So I can, show up on their doorstep.
This is a show up on the doorstep. This was a really long time ago. It was, and
names and addresses.
Names and addresses. I mean, like back then, I really started trying to shift weight, like because of that one comment they said. Not how it is now that I do it for me, but having comments hit you like that, you just immediately want to change it. It's not even just about like weight. Some girls, I know a girl who used to start tanning herself more because she got told she was like too white and pale, which is absolutely ridiculous. So I thought Matt did great bringing the message that you don't have to listen to what people say to change about yourself. I mean, I have so many people tell me not to change, in general, anyone to tell you, don't change a thing. I'm not going to change a thing. Don't worry. Everyone's worrying about that lately. I'm like, nope. But look, you did a great job, Matt. But basically, it was an obvious message. It's an obvious thing to say, but in your post, you delivered it great, and definitely convinced me to watch this anime for certain, even though it's short. Let's see, what cookie shall Matt get? I think Matt will get an M&M cookie. If anybody's had M&M cookies before, because they are freaking amaze balls. They are amaze balls. So, what was that? Sorry?
I said, you know what else is good? Oatmeal M&M cookies. Get it.
Too much.
Let's not talk about oatmeal cookies. I feel bad for bringing it up because I realize there's people in this stream that really love the oatmeal cookie.
We don't want to start a riot. Not today.
No, don't get your pitchforks out yet, people. Don't get your pitchforks out. So Matt gets an M&M cookie, and I'm done.
Yay!
Yay!
Oh, Lita, do not give me a peanut butter cookie. I will say that right now. I don't like peanut butter at all.
Ooh.
Really?
I don't like peanuts. I don't like nuts. I don't like
nuts. I do like peanut butter though, but I don't like.
Hate peanut butter. I think it's abomination. Blasphemy.
I'm just looking at the next post we have to talk about.
Next one's gonna be a fun one because it's fruits basket, so we get to talk.
Got my rant out of the way. Got my rant out of the way early.
From Let's Talk Anime, and I am actually like a huge fruits basket fan. Although I'm gonna be honest, just this is a caveat that I like have. Like I like the anime, but I actually will refuse to watch I think it's the last 2 episodes of the anime.
Yeah.
Because, spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen this, but I'm about to spoil something. But the reason that I refuse to watch the last 2 episodes of that, because the first time that I watched those last 2 episodes, I was ticked for days. I was so angry, and it's because I read the series first. And in the books, when Toro finds out about Kyoya and his transformation, she's she doesn't run away from him, nothing. She's immediately I'm here for you. You know what I mean? And that's the big thing, is that there's never been anybody who's been
unconditional.
Yeah, it was just unconditional. Whereas in the anime, for some insane reason, she runs away from him, and they have all this drama. And the reason why he won't be with, I can't think of what her name is at the top of my head, but she turns into the boar. What is her name?
Kagura.
Yeah.
Kagura. Yeah. The reason he doesn't like Kagura is the first time Kagura saw him,
she got scared and ran away.
And he felt like it was very it was really an emotional moment for him, because he felt like that there could be nobody who could ever just accept him for how he is. And then that's why she becomes obsessed with trying to
win him over.
She feels so guilty about what she did. So I'm like, what the heck, anime? What's that all about? But I'm gonna let that slide for right now, so I can discuss the topics that she brought up. But so I am a pretty big Fruits Basket fan. And so I was excited to see that she had that's what she was doing ours, because she's doing hers from the anime perspective. The episode, she breaks it down in episodes, which I thought was cool. And the topics that she brings up, I do think that are relevant, and they are brought up in the anime. So she kind of talked about Toro and how her family, and there's just no other way to put this, but her her dad's side of the family, excluding her grandpa, they're just all a bunch of jerks. Yep. And they, because of the in general, Toro's never really felt like she super fit in. But you see her mom has always been really accepting, and her grandpa's accepting, but her aunt and uncle and her 2 cousins are just super jerky. And at one point when they find out that she's living in the Soma house, they're even, they make, what does that aunt say? She makes this reference to basically Toro just hanging out with all those men, and what has she been getting up to, and kind of making basically she's kind of being
shacked up.
Yeah,
and she's getting shacked up.
Yeah, shacked up with them, and they're really feel bad. And Toro eventually realizes that she should just kind of go and live with the people who she feels like she cares about, and they care about her, regardless of what people are saying. Sometimes you just have to make those choices. And then also kind of going into Kyoya's and Yuki's fights with each other, and how there's actually things about each other that they both really admire, but just because of everything that they've been through, and the things that they've gone through, they're we just can't really accept each other. And I think that's I feel like that's a valid point on humans in general. I think everybody has that person where they look at them and there's just been too much history between you, where you can look at them and think to yourself, I think these things that you do are really cool, and I admire them, and I wish I could kind of be like that, but I can't be in the same room as you. You know what I mean? I can't hang with you, but I appreciate what you bring to the table. So I feel like that's a very human trait. But I think both those things, being able to, and I thought it was cool in this series how they all made that. I think people do need to be able to acknowledge other people's, accept them for who they are, acknowledge their faults and their great points. And even if you can't get along with them as a person, that doesn't mean that you can't accept and come to terms with who they are, which I think is a valid point. So I was super pumped to see that she's posting on Fruits Basket, because I'm a huge fan, and that's how I feel about that. So hoot hoot, and it's Naja's turn.
Lucky for you guys, you newcomers, they let me get my Fruits Basket rant out of the way early, because I absolutely dislike that series. I'm sorry. I hate it because of the one thing that I mentioned earlier. If you missed it, I say go back and watch the stream from the beginning later on, and you'll figure out exactly why. It's
because Toru didn't get with the right guy. Pathetic reason.
Heck yeah. But I'm going to be objective for this one because I really, really loved Zoe's post. It was freaking awesome. She actually made me almost want to start watching the series again, and that takes real work. So, you know, thumbs up on that. I'm being objective here. One of the great things about Fruits Baskets is it's about acceptance, and it's probably one of the best anime for this month's theme. It's about acceptance, not just Toru's acceptance of herself and her situation and the Somas, but the Somas' acceptance of themselves. They've all, for those of you that don't know, they've all been cursed with the Zodiac curse. They each transform into one of the 12 Zodiac animals, plus Kyo, when they're hugged or embraced by someone of the opposite sex. However, it doesn't work if they're hugged or embraced by someone from their own family. Everyone has their own roles within the family based on what animal they transform into, and Kyo, who turns into the cat, is kind of excluded. His curse is like on another level from everybody else's. Everybody turns into a cute, fluffy animal. He turns into, spoilers, super mega ugly, awesome monster thing that looks like, it actually creeped me the hell out when I first saw it in the manga. I was like, what is this thing? I know what you mean. I was like, obviously he's not the guy for me because I would have run straight for the hills. Like, what the hell?
Oh,
I'm sorry. Couldn't do it. But his curse is a little bit more, it's worse than everyone else's, and he struggles with finding, not just finding acceptance from himself, but from other people, because everyone shuns him in the family. His own mother, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, because, you know, I hate this series so much. His own mother rejects him because I think she saw his form once and she's just like, what is this? She like goes into this like she has like a mental break. She kind of like doesn't even deal with him. She can't even look at him. It's really messed up. That's just whole anime. The whole series is messed up. But Toru finds acceptance with the Somas. She's been abandoned by her family. Her parents die. She's alone. She finds her way to their household. She lives with them, and she finds acceptance. She finds a bit of herself with them. Now, doesn't make her the strongest heroine there is out there in the world, but she does come into her own through meeting them. And the scene that was mentioned in the post was when she goes to live with her grandfather's family and how they treat her badly. And there's a scene where she finally gets fed up and she leaves. Like, her grandfather even asked her, he's like, oh, you know, how's everything going? And she lies. She says, oh, it's great, because she doesn't want to mess up the situation that she's in. But like Kat said in the post said, she gets fed up. She can't deal with it anymore, and she goes back home. And Kyo finds her, and he's like, you're an idiot. Like, why didn't you just say what was wrong to begin with? You need to be more, you know, have a bit of a backbone. You need to actually say what's wrong when it's wrong. And it's funny that he's the one who says that. Stop it. Stop fist pumping. Don't cheat for him.
I can't help it.
It's funny that he says it because he doesn't even fully accept himself at this point. He's still not accepting of his curse and himself and who he is. So the fact that he has the balls to tell her to accept herself and to be a stronger person really shows how much he cares for her at that point. Like I said, I'm being objective here, and I'm trying to be real nice because I hate this series so much. But it's just one of those series that has a really great message. And then, like I said, the Somas have to accept themselves, because a lot of them are fighting their curses. They've either... Stop slow clapping. No. A lot of them have pretty much resigned themselves to either being alone or not living up to their full potential because of their curses. And it's at the end when they finally accept themselves and the curse is broken by unfortunate events that they kind of come into their own and they grow as individuals. I will say this once and never again. It's actually a really good series. Definitely good to watch.
So basically, you hate it and love it at the same time, basically.
I hate that Toru picked Kyo, but I can find some good spots with this anime. Also, there was a mention of how the name Fruits Baskets, which is weird when you think about it, is based on a children's game where children would pick, they have names picked for them, based on fruits, and they'd wait to have their name called. And if their fruit name was called, they'd get up and they'd chase after the basket. And it was kind of like kind of cute. Well, when Toru was a little one, she was given the name of an onigiri, or rice ball. Of course, there are no rice balls in fruits baskets because, you know, rice isn't a fruit, or is it? Correct me if I'm wrong. And she never gets called, so she's just sitting there by herself waiting to get called, and she never does. And she's always been the odd one out, and it's just that whole, among all of these misfits, she kind of finds herself, she finds love, she finds acceptance, she finds a place, a family. It's a really beautiful message. End of my objectiveness. I fucking hate fruits baskets. The end.
Ooh, oh, okay.
Zoe, you did an awesome job with your post. You get 2 hoots. Hoot hoot. Wait, would y'all have to? Oh my gosh! I guess you would have to censor. No, it's a live stream. Go ahead. Never mind.
Right, so I will. After that long rant, I have better things to say. Excuse me, now.
Hey, I was objective. I was nice. I said good things.
And I forgot. I didn't realize Zoe was in this chat, so I do apologize, Zoe. I have much nicer things to say.
I was nice. I said a lot of nice things. Roll back the tape. I definitely said some nice things about this show and the manga. Only blip on the radar is that she picked the damn cat and not the rat. Okay? And it was all this. Here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. It was decided by an effing poll. That's how they chose. I am mad because it was decided by a poll.
Oh dear.
Well,
I was gonna say I thought the reason you hated the series was because like the characters or the story or the ending.
Oh,
I mean there are things. I mean, I wish the anime had ended differently. This is why I am
that she ended up with through a poll, a popularity poll.
All right, I'll just give my piece now. Let's settle Naja's piece, and now move on to my piece.
Yes, Lita, go.
So, probably nobody knew, but this was Zoe's first blog tour with us. This was so well done, Zoe. I actually knew, like Aria, she was going to pick Fruits Basket because I know she loves Fruits Basket. So I loved how you did for this first blog tour, like first diving into the episodes which I knew you probably were going to talk about because I know this anime like the back of my head because I've seen it so many times. But like episode 5 about the bit where, you know, all the kids all leave out Toru. She's known as like the lonely rice ball because nobody belongs in a fruits basket because, you know, it doesn't make sense. And I just love the whole post of how she first focuses on the episode around Kyo, Yuki, and Toru, and then I loved how she went on to talk about the others in the family because each person in the Zodiac family deals with their own of confidence and acceptance. And I liked how she focused on the first three trio of characters and I agree, Naja, this anime is about acceptance and everything, and there are so many things to love about it.
I will agree on that.
And for anyone that's not seen Fruits Basket, I highly recommend you do, even though, like I said, I'm currently reading the manga, but it's taken me a while. It is right now. But look, I just loved your post in general, Zoe, and for that you get my favorite cookie. It's not chocolate chip, by the way. My favorite cookie is white chocolate with macadamia nuts. So that's what you get. You get my favorite cookie. I don't know if you even like nuts. I don't even know. But yes, that is what I have to say.
Awesome. Next.
Is Mob Psycho and being your own worst enemy. Actually, this worked out really nicely because Hazel just showed up in chat. So she came in just when we were about to talk about about hers. So good
Pulled
on
the Taku. She pulled the Taku. He usually shows
Yeah,
up right before we discuss his post.
Right. And so hers was, man, this tour actually has been like really like more than most of the tours. There's a few that I haven't seen, but I feel like this tour, like every single one of them, I'm like, I haven't seen this anime. Like I haven't seen it. And this is no different. I haven't seen this anime, but it does sound kind of cool. And I liked what her post was about, kind of just talking about there's this excuse me, character, and I guess his name is Mob, hence the name, I guess, of the show, Mob Psycho. And he's got some cool psychic powers, but he's not very confident in himself. But as time goes on, he kind of gained some confidence and things like that. But I guess like the interesting thing about it was I had assumed when I started reading this that his psychic powers would be like the things that he would start to gain more confidence with, and because of that he would start making friends and all of that kind of stuff. But actually and again, I haven't seen this show, so I'm just going off this post, but from the post, it's actually kind of more like how Mob kind of decides that like he wants to use he decides that he needs to like use his psychic abilities in order to like help people with things, but he doesn't want to rely on them to like make friends and stuff like that, which I thought was like, I feel like that's a really cool spin on the character. I also really like this post because I felt like I learned a lot about Paisley, and kind of this was like a more personal post for her, and I feel like I learned a lot about her through this post and like her experiences kind of going through those like tween middle school type years and kind of trying to find I think that age period is just such, as they say in Britain, bollocks. Like it's just the worst in some ways. And so she even brings about how she needed to kind of like find her own way, and how she had to deal with things like bullying and things like that, and how it shaped her as a person. And I do think that those things, even as hard, those moments, even as hard as they are to go through, they can, shape us for the better and make us into the people who kind of become more like the protectors and fighters for others versus being people that kind of hurt others. So I think that was an interesting.
I mean, as experiences could also go the other way, and you could just become a cruel villain.
Oh yeah, no, you definitely can. Like, I think it's a flip toss. So I like to hope that we like take experience and become like better people, but then become like. Actually, talking about this is something like coming from the classroom. Every once in a while, like when I'm teaching, a kid will come through, and like you're supposed to love all of them, but every once in a while, a kid will like come through, and they'll be so kind of like crazy that like I will literally think in my head, like I'll be like, you're going to be a serial killer when you grow up. I'm
inside secrets of the actual teacher right here.
I'm gonna get interviewed by making a murderer, and they're gonna be like, "So you know so in your class," and I'd be like, "Yeah, he's terrible." And he said he would kill people when he grew up.
Oh my god!
Which sounds bad, but I swear sometimes you can sense it on them.
You know what? I agree with you. There are some kids that you just see and you're just like, I know you're gonna be evil, man. I just spawned this thing like child, like Antichrist level stuff, and you're just like, I'm just gonna be really nice to you so that whenever you take over the world.
I know, that's what I think. Like I wanna be like, remember that one time I gave you a gold star? I just want you to remember that for like future reference.
For life.
You own a gun. Like just remember that I did that, okay?
Forever, always. Like I will do nothing. You got it. So Hazel's post. I freaking loved Hazel's post. She's been like knocking it out of the park with these blog tour posts since the time she joined. That was like fantastic.
Oh, what's the thing about us?
And I can overlook her novel long article because it was a personal post. I said this before, I'll say it again. I absolutely love it when you guys tell me about yourselves in your posts You put a little piece of your soul in there, and it makes the post sound that much better. And with her sharing her experiences about middle school, yeah, middle school sucked. I hated middle school. I think everybody kind of hated middle school. It was just a miserable time. You went from being innocent and everybody was friends to
death.
then, to hormones and, oh my God, I like guys. No, I don't. Oh, I like girls. No, I don't. I'm not there yet kind of thing. Everybody was just asshole. Children are horrible, but middle school was just on another level. It was just like this complete drastic shift. So you've got all of these dynamics changing, you got all these hormones going around pumping, you got a lot of things going on, and you've got people being jerks just for the sake of being jerks. So I really appreciated her sharing that particular story because, I had a bully too. She was just jealous of my awesomeness. You know what? Karma's a bitch because it got her real hard and it was beautiful. And I laughed my life. No. She tormented. She was just rude. Like every time she saw me, she'd find something mean to say. And it was just because she was jealous. But then there was this one gym class. I'll remember it for the rest of my life. She was wearing an all-white gym outfit because she thought she was so cute. And because she was a young girl, stuff happened. And her white uniform was no longer all white. And I had a moment where I could have, let her know, been the bigger person, been like, hey, here's my sweater. But nah, man, let her walk around like that. And then her friends saw her, and instead of standing up for her, they laughed at her, they picked at her, they picked fun at her for it. And it was just this complete role reversal, and it was just like, wow. So, my story aside. Yeah, see? Thank you, Hazel. Karma be getting people. Karma's a bitch. And I'm bold. I mean, it was a horrible experience. And had she been nicer to me or some other person, I would have been over there in a heartbeat. Like, I got you. But she was a bitch. She deserved it. It's worth it. No shame. No shame. But I like that Hazel tied in her personal experiences with the show. She talked about her middle school experience and how different things happened to kind of make it a miserable experience for all. And then she segued into how it transitioned into her adult life, how those experiences shaped her as she was now. And like she had the little anecdote about her job. Someone asked her what her position was, and she just kind of downplayed it. Oh, it was just this. And then her boss comes up and she's like, no, it's not just this, it's this. And she kind of has this kind of like, I wish I was a bit more confident. I wish I had this to push me through. And she kind of related to Mom and the show because she saw herself in the character and his journey. So excellent post. I've not seen Mob Psycho. It's on the list. I'll watch it in 5 years when no one's talking about it probably. But awesome post. Lovely. You get 2 hoots from me. Hooty hoot. Hey.
What? Really? That's a hoot. Oh. What, you not really
Hold on. Wait. Don't have my iPad. Hold on. I got a better hoot. Hold on.
Just gonna do it from the tablet, everybody.
I can't find my tablet. This will work.
I was like anticipating a moment. Wait.
Wait for it, everybody. Wait. Okay. Your mission is to find it now. Your mission is to find it. Shall I just stop talking?
Sorry, my thing is making noise I shouldn't make.
Okay, I'll just give my spiel then. If you want, funny fact, Naja, people probably will be talking about Mob Psycho 100 recently because they announced a 2nd season for it.
I won't watch it anytime soon. Kudos on that. Hazel, go for it. Sorry.
Yes, Hazel, sorry. I've been doing the tweets this whole time, so I didn't know if you were going to come or not. So I'll stop doing the tweets now. I actually have to log out the thing, actually. That reminds me. Let me just log out the account. There we go. I'm logged out now, Hazel. Okay, Hazel's post. Oh, my dear. No, seriously, I'll be honest, this post took me down memory lane before I get into that. I was not a fan of when Mob Psycho 100 was like announced or anything, because it said it was from the director of One Punch Man, which I've still not seen, and honestly I've not taken an interest in Mob Psycho 100 until you wrote your post and you talked about it, and until you saying that you related to like the main character, what's his name, Rhyme, is it Rain? I don't know how to, what's the dude's name? Or Mob, sorry, it's Mob.
It's in the title, Lita. It's still in the title. It's there at the title sometimes.
I'm not well at the moment, folks. I feel like I'm getting something, so I apologize. I'm like not with it today. I liked how she did from the perspective of putting herself kind of in the place of like Mob, and that, you know, he has all these out of control powers, and that the only person he could confide in was Ryan or Rain, however you say the freaking dude's name. You know, and that, you know, he was the Mob. It appears that he was the only. It appears that Ryan was the only person that Mob confided in, and that he didn't have to rely on his psychic powers to get along with anybody, or just to impress anybody. And I like that you talked about that, and that you've definitely more than convinced me that I will watch this show only because of you, Hazel. And like when you put yourself in this post, I don't know, I got very sensitive over here. And I think anybody would if they went and read it, when you talked about how you were in how it was for you in middle school and everything, and, you know, just took me back to my days. Well, we don't call it middle school in the UK, we call it primary school. So it took me back to that time in my life. It did, and that I hope now that you realize that I know you. Even just from talking to you, Hazel, I can tell you're a strong person. God, if I can, I'd, you know, maybe back then, if I attended your school, I'd spread the name. Oh, we heard a thug leader. She's somewhere around here. She might go beat some people up. Fun fact. Twitter and type in thug leader. I guarantee some things will come up. I guarantee. My reign is supreme. No. Okay. I can't escape the hashtag or the name thug leader anyway. I blame certain individuals for that.
I don't know where that came from.
But I loved your post, Hazel. It was so great. As usual, knock it out of the park every time. And the cookie that you get is one of my second favorites, actually. It is mint chocolate chip cookies. So you get the mint chocolate chip. It is so good. How can you not had a mint chocolate chip cookie in your life, Naja? Why?
Yes.
Why haven't you? You have?
I have. They're awesome.
Okay.
That's awesome. Oh, I found the perfect hoot for Hazel, if she's still here, because this is like, you should be ready. This is like hard to find.
What the hell was that?
I looked just for that one. Specifically got Bokuto.
That didn't even sound like an owl. That didn't even sound like an owl.
It's Haikyuu. It's Haikyuu.
Oh, it's Haikyuu. Oh God, freaking hell! I knew it. Anything. If anybody's new to our stream that we do, at least once in our stream, the word Haikyuu will be mentioned, and there it is.
I mean, it's
people.
right here behind my head. But no, Hazel really likes Bokuto from Haikyuu, so I had to find a special hoot because, you know, I can't hoot to save my life. And I knew Kat would get it immediately. I knew it was going to happen. So when I played it, she was just like, yes, I got an owl to hoot. See? Win-win. And I was clever. Anyhow. Let's see, who's next?
I can't even think. All right, next up.
Lita. Lita.
Yeah.
Ah, is it me? Oh, is it really my post come off already?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got you already. Good try.
Lita, you actually started off because you'll discuss your post first. So, Heroes Meeting Humanity Expectations by Lita Keenan.
Yes, so I took a very different route. I did for a change. I thought outside the box, so people when they come across our group, they think that we think outside the box, not just anime. So I focused on Marvel and DC heroes for a change, and all the time in all the ones we love, the well-known ones, you know, Batman, Superman. They all have this expectation put on them by humanity, by people, that they will save the day. And first I talk about Superman, that anybody who can ask who's your favorite Superman and you can think of one, he will be the first one that you automatically will think of. I mean, I believe that to be true. I've even had a conversation a while back that someone's saying, I said, oh, what's the first hero that you would think of? Because we were talking about Marvel and stuff, and they said Superman. So that was exactly what I anticipated would kind of happen. In that, when I talk about Superman can't be everywhere, he's one person, can't be saving someone from, not saying he'll save someone, get a cat out of a tree. I'm talking like, you know, there's a volcano in Hawaii, and then there's some other disaster, a tsunami or whatever happening. He can't be two places at once unless he cloned himself. And I just used him as my stepping stone in my post, the hero expectation. And then I talk about if you're not Superman, and that's where I delve into a couple of individuals in DC and Marvel, which are the Deadpool and the Thing from Fantastic Four. Them two both I felt really related to this topic because of their appearance. You know, of the Thing, what happens in Fantastic Four. There's a what do I want to call it?
Space jump.
There's like a I don't want to say I want to call it like a space accident, but there's a they experience there's a cosmic reaction of when his whole group is up in space, and that causes them to shift through these changes and that gives abilities. And unfortunately, Ben, who isn't called the Thing, he gets like this rock-like body. I can tell that you are a fan of Ben.
Of course, it's freaking awesome.
Yeah. And unfortunately, when he comes home to his girlfriend, she runs at the sight of him. And yeah, that scene is kind of funny. I'm sorry to say.
You know why it's
and
funny?
Then we have
why it's really funny?
Why?
Because the actress is the same actress that plays what's her face from Walking Dead, Andrea. So it was like we hated her in Walking Dead. I was like, now I had a good reason for hating her now.
More reasons to hate her. You're like,
yes, even more. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Sorry, I'm trying to get through this really quickly. And then I talk about Deadpool. That, you know, Deadpool is thought out by the X-Men group that he could be this great hero, and he doesn't want to be. He is not what you would call a hero. He does it for his own selfish intentions, and all he wants to do in the movie, which by the way, Deadpool movie is so great. I'm so excited for Deadpool 2. All he wants to do is save his love, which is Vanessa, but at the same time he's hesitant to go and he wants to save, but at the same time he's scared and hesitant because of how his appearance changed, because he got, you know, diagnosed with cancer and that, and he's going to die, and then he finds out there's potential way that he could recover, but in a way he's actually tortured inside a experimentation on humans basement kind of thing, and that his face has been defiled, or all the oxygen's been sucked out of it. It leaves him with how he looks. And so both Ben and Wade, I think his name is Wade Wilson.
Wade Wilson.
Yeah, Wade. Both of them are scared in the fear of they're not going to they, you know, Ben might not find someone, or mostly Wade, you know, that Vanessa would just turn at the sight of him, because it's, and I talk about it, just because they've changed doesn't mean they've changed who they are. And inside, it's still the same person, but think of how many times maybe you've gone through a situation where, I don't know, you changed about something about yourself and just on the outside, but people don't think you're the same on the inside. I've definitely had that. But in the end, you know, they both kind of got their happy ending. But the message of that was just wanted to say, you know, doesn't matter if your appearance changed on the outside, you're still the same on the inside. It's only skin deep. And the true ones, like in Arya's post, they will stick around, they will, if they're true people. And then I just talk about heroes are not perfect. That you got Catwoman. Catwoman is one of my favorites. And I love the Catwoman movie too, from 2005 with Halle Berry, and a lot of people don't like that movie. I love it.
That movie was trash.
What?
No excuses.
I don't care. I loved it. And Catwoman, so to Catwoman, why would she be seen as a hero? But, you know, really, she's a criminal, you know, goes steals jewelry and everything. But a lot of people, I know, a lot of people love Catwoman for her fearless confidence that she has. But it doesn't mean to say that each of the heroes that I've talked about in the post, they don't deal with their own that they're not dealing with their own confidence issues. You know, like we saw recently in Wonder Woman, that we got to see a side of Diana, her vulnerable side, and that it took the entire movie for her to realize what it is that the path that she wanted to take, and the people that influenced her. And that's why with these heroes and that's why with all these heroes that we get, that, you know, this expectation is put on them, and that nobody would think behind all of that each of the heroes are probably looking in the mirror themselves about what are they doing in the choices they're making, is it right? And that, you know, to the people closest to them, they can still carry on and do what they do, even outweighing the expectation of humanity. So that is what I was trying to say in my post, and I'm done.
I get to go next on this. And I have to say, first off, Lita, when I saw that you were discussing like superheroes, I'm like a huge comic book fan, like really big. And so when I saw this, I was like immediately like pumped, like, because this was like this isn't usually like OWLS writers stick to like kind of stuff in the like anime or like things like in that world, but really you can do any sort of like pop culture thing. So when I saw this, I was like, I'm so excited, because I just love these characters. I love, I'm like I said, a big comic book fan. And then of course, like, Deadpool is awesome. I won't give you guys any spoilers on who he actually ends up with in love life, but that's why we read the books. But some things are about to happen. Guys are about to, some dreams might be shattered for some people who ship some things. But
Spidey pool.
Right. So there's some things that can happen. But no, I love this direction of it. And then and I do like another thing like I was thinking of that I thought it was cool how you brought up was even like with Superman, and like when we talk about like you know, people who do exude some sort of like confidence or strength like Superman does, and this idea that them, because they are strong, they should just be able to get anywhere and be there for all problems, and how this isn't necessarily a realistic expectation for people. This idea that even though, you know, you are a strong person, that you can be there for everyone all the time, because at some point you have to, you know, you're just not going to be able to do that. That's just an impossible expectation for someone, which I thought was like a really, really good point. And then I'm going to have to, like I have actually always loved Catwoman as a character. Aretha Kitt always did it best.
Yes.
The movie, I got to the basketball scene. Do you remember that
scene?
Oh
my God.
They did like basketball, and I was like, I'm out. Like, they can't do it.
Oh yeah, damn, I love that bit.
They weren't even playing basketball.
And I couldn't help it because I played basketball, so I'd be like, that's a travel. Like I couldn't take it.
Yes.
I've always loved Catwoman. Well, I love, like any character, and I feel like Catwoman falls into this, where she's almost that like anti-hero, where, you know, she can do some good things for the right reasons, but she's also kind of in it for herself, kind of a thing. But so I've always thought she was like a really cool character. I feel like she falls in that anti-hero like kind of pool, Deadpool, and like sometimes I think Batman is a bit of an anti-hero sometimes as well. You know, depending on which storyline you're reading, he's never really rainbows and daisies, but things can get real dark real quick in the Batman world. So and I think that's I think the reason I've always loved those characters in comic books, because I feel like they're very realistic in the sense of like how we are as humans. Like we try our best and we try to be confident, we try to be there for people, but we can't always be those people, and we all have these like selfish desires or, you know, other things. Like nobody's 100% perfect, even if you do have all this power or whatever it is that's supposed to give you all this self-confidence. It doesn't really, you know, that doesn't mean everything. And then also how this kind of like strength can sometimes be seen as a curse, like you have with Deadpool and the Thing, where, I mean, in the end they kind of get some sort of like peace, but, you know, when you first like see it visually, you might think of it as a curse, even though it's supposed to be kind of like their strength, but you might think of it as a curse just because how it looks on the outside, and so you have to like take a moment to like get to know people. So I was pumped about this post, and I was like super excited to see it just right away, because I'm just, again, such a comic book fan.
I know, so your shirt says it all.
Yes, I was just like, yes, like everything about it, I was like, yes, yes, yes. So keep up the good work. And I'll give you a hoot hoot and a hike you.
Yay, thank you.
Hey.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, is it my turn now since you skipped me? Stole my thunder, why don't you? Lita told me about this beforehand, and I was excited because, you know, it was like right on the heels of her Wonder Woman post, and we were talking about heroes and Marvel and all the awesomeness that's coming out soon. I'm looking forward to Black Panther. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but that's the movie that I've needed my entire life.
Yep.
Never knew. I want that movie. I want that movie so bad. I want it now. It needs to be 2018. But I digress. I loved your post, Lita. Loved it to bits. When I was reading it, when I got to the bit about the Superman, it kind of reminded me of that. What is it? I had to look up the band because I keep forgetting their name. But the Five Guys for Fighting, or Five for Fighting. Five for Fighting song, Superman. It's not easy, and it's pretty much about how we put all these expectations on people, especially Superman. We expect him to be there every day, all day, listening, ready to save the world, but it's not possible. And then you see in the movie, he literally drops everything to go save Lois every time something goes wrong. Now, he's a hero. He's supposed to be there for everyone, but if his girl is falling off a building, he will leave these people over here, and he will fly over there to pick her up and make sure she's okay. They're people. They have feelings, they have wants, they have needs. I'm repeating exactly what you guys have said already, but they're not, we put them on this pedestal, we expect them. Yeah, you better be excited for Black Panther. But we put them on this pedestal, and we expect them to always be there. And then there's the hell was that movie called? The Amazing Spider-Man. The two movies we got, because it was supposed to be a trilogy and it didn't do so well. But that's a perfect example where he goes to try. I'm spoiling it. Sorry, I'm not spoiling Homecoming, but I'm spoiling the Amazing Spider-Man. When he goes to try and save Gwen Stacy, and he's not there. He's not fast enough. He doesn't reach her in time, and she ends up dying. You expect, well, if you haven't read the comic books, then you would have expected him to save her, and everything would be hunky dory. For everyone else, they knew she was gonna die. Sorry, not sorry, but from an outsider's view, as a hero, you expect him to save the day. You expected her to live. You expected them to be happy, but it doesn't happen. And that's because they can't always catch the ball. There's stuff that falls through the cracks with them. Trying to think of what else to say. Hated Catwoman, the movie. Love Catwoman, the character. Because Well, because she's not, like Kat said, she's not really a hero. She does what she wants, whenever it suits her needs. So if it's beneficial to her to team up with Batman and Robin and Batgirl, she'll do it. If it's not, she'll just screw with them until she's done. It's whenever she wants. Same with Deadpool.
He's with you as long as her.
He's with you until it doesn't benefit him anymore, or he doesn't find it fun, or it's not advantageous to him. It's kind of a thing with heroes. They can do what they want, or anti-heroes, and it's one of the defining things. It's one of the defining differences between the DC universe and the Marvel universe. I like Marvel a bit more because those heroes seem a bit more human. They seem a bit more relatable. Everymen. They're not billionaires. They're not superpowered aliens. They're not goddesses. They're not detectives. They don't have this established kind of lifestyle. They're usually random people who happen to get powers. Like you got the X-Men who just happen to be regular people born with superpowers, or Spider-Man, kid gets bit with a spider and decides to save the world. Got these underdog heroes that you just root for, not because they're awesome or great, but because you can see yourself in them if you had powers. So yeah, that's my spiel. Loved it, absolutely. It was perfect in every way. It was everything. Thor is an alien, and Iron Man is a rich bastard. And if you bring up Doctor Strange, I will say the same thing.
Sorry, Thor is my baby. Thor is my baby.
I am an alien and Iron Man is a rich bastard. And
that's an alien
of all time.
Oh my god. Plus he gets his comeuppance. Plus Thor gets his comeuppance in Ragnarok, so you know, gets knocked down a peg. And then we had Iron Man. Tony Stark was an alcoholic. He was an alcoholic who couldn't barely function. He just had a lot of money. So yeah, they had their issues too. They definitely had their issues. Oh no, you tried me there for a minute. I was gonna let that go. Hold on. But yeah. You tried that, Scott. I see you. We're gonna have conversations later. But yeah, Lita, lovely post. Absolutely adored it, and I would hope that more of you do that. Thinking outside of the box, thinking other topics other than anime, manga. You know, surprise us. We like reading them. The next post.
Actually, I was gonna say the next post is actually Naja. So he just.
Yeah, it's so funny that our hero things fall against each other.
I forgot. I didn't think it was mine. Okay. I kind of forgot what I wrote about for a second. So for my blog tour post, I picked My Hero Academia because I fucking love that show. It's so good. It's so good. And I hate shonen anime with a passion, but I watched this show on a whim, and I was just like, oh my god, this is better than I thought. This is everything they promised me it would be. Like, I was getting emotional. Rita can tell you. Like,
dude, rant people, get ready to put your headphones up.
I was tearing up at some scenes. It was everything I've been missing from anime. This show actually made me fall in love with anime all over again, excluding Haikyuu. Haikyuu, I love on another level. But this anime resonated with me on like a spiritual level. Like Deku, man, I want him to be a freaking hero. Usually when I see anime like this, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a regular generic protagonist. They're an underdog. They're gonna get their power. They're gonna be a badass in the future, and then they're gonna be great, and it's gonna be awesome. Woohoo! Nothing new here. And for all intents and purposes, this series is exactly the same. You've got a kid with no powers who wants to be a hero. He can't because he doesn't have any powers. He goes through heartbreak, and when he cries, when baby Deku cries, my heart weeps. I cry too. It just was one of those moments where you can't look at that face and not feel something. Otherwise, you're a person. I don't know what to say. But he like balls. Like this kid, his whole world is just crushed. in that one moment when he's told he'll never develop a quirk, he'll never develop a power, and he'll never be a hero. This is something he's always wanted to be. And there's a scene where he asks his mother, he's like, will I be a hero? And it's after the doctor has told him, absolutely no. You have no powers, you'll never develop them, you'll never become a hero. And he asks his mother, and it's while his favorite clip of his favorite hero is playing on the computer. And he asks her, and the room is dark, and she just says, I'm sorry. And in that moment, you think a parent would lie and say, oh, yeah, sweetheart, you're going to be a hero. It's going to be great. She says, I'm sorry. And she hugs him and she starts crying. And he just sits there with this look on his face. He's smiling, but he's crying. And your heart just breaks for this kid because you're just like, oh, my God. He wanted this so bad, and he's never going to. You can literally see the moment where his heart breaks, and it just breaks you. So then they flash forward into the future where he's in, junior high, and he still hasn't completely given up on his dream. I mean, he's not going to develop a quirk. He's made peace with that, but he still hasn't fully given up on his dream. He still wants to be a hero. He still wants to go to the special hero school, despite everyone telling him he's not going to. And then another character, a frenemy of sorts, asshole. That's how you should read that, asshole.
Yes, he is an asshole.
He tells him to jump out of a window and pray that he comes back in the next life with a quirk, with a power. And it was one of those moments where I was just like, wow. It's one of the first episodes. But it's horrible. It's like he gets ridiculed by, well, he doesn't necessarily get ridiculed by everyone, but there's this standard. If you don't have a quirk, you're kind of useless. You're not going to be anything important. You're not going to do anything. Even All Might tells him at one point, he's like, yeah, give up on your dream. You don't have a power. You could just be a superhero. And not a superhero. You could just be a police officer. It's still a decent job, but it's not what he wants. It's not his dream. But even so, yeah, see? Yeah. He's like, that's not what he wants to do. And that's when he kind of gives up on his dream until he sees his friend being attacked. And this kid with no powers, no means of defending himself, no means of doing anything, rushes all these heroes who are supposed to be on the scene defending everyone. They can't do anything. They realize that they can't stop this villain. They realize that their powers aren't enough, and they just stand there and watch this other kid who deserved it and deserved to get devoured. He should have gotten eaten in that episode and been done with it. But he's getting attacked and they don't do anything. And Deku's standing there and this crowd of onlookers kind of like, oh my God, he's going to die. What are we going to do? And he's looking around kind of like, oh, certainly the heroes are going to come through and they're going to do something. And no one moves. So he takes it upon himself to charge head first into action, armed only with his book bag. And just this determination to save this friend. And his actions, while stupid, because he has no powers, he could easily have died, are silly. He spurs the other heroes into action. He spurs them into coming into action and actually attacking the villain themselves. And it's just one of those defining moments, because if anyone else was in that situation, they would have been looking on like all the other spectators, just like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Is he going to be saved? What's going to happen? But the fact that he didn't care about his safety, he didn't care about himself, he went forward and he did it. It's something that kind of permeates his narrative. He does that no matter what. Even when he does, you know what, never mind, I'm not going to spoil that for you.
Cliffhanger.
But he always has
it's not for me.
You already know. I don't know why you're acting like you don't know. We've gotten to that point already.
Oh God, I'm only on episode 5.
We figured it out. We figured that part out already. We know he gets a quirk, but still, Lita. But even after he develops his powers, he's still the same kid. And it's because he hasn't had to rely on powers. He was a normal guy. He was a normal student. He was a normal person. So he doesn't act like, say, I don't even know his real name, Kachan, who's a jerk with powers. He doesn't have that confidence. He doesn't have that, he doesn't feel self-important. He's just a guy. He just happens to have powers, and he doesn't go into situations as if he's had these powers his whole life. He goes into it as a person. He thinks about who he's saving. He thinks about what he's doing. He puts a lot of extra thought in there that doesn't, jerk. Thank you, Hazel. But he doesn't go into it like a hero, or like you would expect a hero to go into it. He goes into it like what a hero should be, selfless, putting the person first, doing things without any glory or reward. And that's something I really like. What? Yeah, that's literally how I refer to him. Thank you, Kat. Yeah, that's exactly what I say. And I can attest to that, because every time he comes on the screen, I'm like, that asshat. And that's literally it.
I hate him.
Yeah, pretty much. Jerk. What is he doing? Shut up. Nobody's talking to you. That's literally the only word I have for him when he shows up on screen. But that just, I can't say how much I love this series. I have no words for it because it's freaking awesome. And the newer episodes make me love it even more. Oh my God, that last episode from last week. Deku, he just did like, I never would have imagined him doing. And I was just like, what? He's an adult. He's finally learning. I'm like, oh my God, did you just see that? I'm like,
I don't know. I haven't seen anything, Naja.
It's so beautiful. Oh my God. I had a whole moment where I like rewinded it and I was like, hold on. I gotta see that whole scene again.
I'm gonna let you give your opinion before I do, otherwise Naja is gonna spend the next 2 hours talking about Precious Deku.
Heck yeah.
I'm saying this show has absolutely. I feel like this is like when I watched Haikyuu and I was like, and still am like super obsessed, and I was like, Naja, you have to watch it today. Like I feel like this is Naja's Haikyuu moment. So I will be going to. I've never seen this show before, and then like it didn't. It was kind of like the same thing when I kind of saw it. I thought, that's probably not my jam. But because you are like so pumped about it, I am going to watch the show.
You have to. Oh my God, you must.
Anime show. And I did kind of like this like when you were talking in your posts, I like this premise, or this just kind of like this idea of how someone can be I like the characters where you can be a hero. Like sometimes it's not the most powerful person, or the person who has the coolest, in this case, quirk or any of that stuff. It's somebody who's going to inspire other people to act, and like that's what makes them the great leader. And which I think says something about like humans in general. Sometimes we think to ourselves like, oh, we can't do anything because I'm not rich, or I'm not this, or I don't have whatever. And it's like, no, it's just about being able to inspire people to move forward too. And so when you talk about his like ability to like make people to kind of like move forward and act upon their things, I was like, this seems like a cool character. Now I'm interested. Now you have my attention. Kind of lean like a little forward, like, I think I might have to watch this show. So I've officially actually moved this show to like it's the next anime I will watch. The next new anime I watch will be this show. So look forward to that, people. So I would
look forward to it.
So I'm going to watch this show. So get ready for that.
Oh, someone suggested we do a live reaction watch with you.
I feel like this would be like I'm watching, and then it would be like Lita being like the calm soul who's like, quiet, we're trying to see this, and like there'd be like Naja like at the screen like, did you see that?
Oh my God, seriously. Well, I'll give my feel now, because I think I've already been requested that OWLS do like the reactions. I've had someone comment before, but for the record, I've only just started watching My Hero Academia because of Naja. Yeah. We watched the first 5 episodes together, and actually did put a little Twitter video together of us reacting. I didn't know how to record the audio and stuff. I'm not that much of a whiz. And if anybody knows how to record sound and all of that, I couldn't pick up the sound. Oh God, that sounded like I'm gonna say that sounded like a freaking orgy noise then. I'm like, God, that sounded so orgy. I'm sorry, people who are watching this. I just said that. So is that how you experience your show when you're watching My Hero Academia?
When I watch My Hero Academia, yes.
Oh God, okay. Right, before we start off, seriously, I've seen this girl react to My Hero Academia, and oh my God. Well, okay, I watched the first 5 episodes, and yes, it's really good. It definitely lives up to the hype and stuff. You can see my stupid reactions in the Twitter video I made. We're up to episode 5 right now, and it's I mean, just in general, I'm totally going off topic. Let's say in general, your poster's really good, Naja. Nice and short and sweet, not a novel. And by the way, jerk face name is Katsuki. It's definitely a jerk, but I'm gonna give the guy the benefit of the doubt. And yes, this shonen show is nothing like I've seen for quite a long time. It's very different. And then you say, Deku, I can tell, puts a lot of thought into everything. And yeah, this show basically just makes you go, ah! Basically. But that's how I would describe it. So, Naja, you get a sugar cookie.
Ooh. Okay.
Because I call you Sweet Naja, so you get a sugar cookie. So you can just eat the sugar cookies while watching My Hero Academia.
Oh my god, I'll buy some for the next time. Oh my god, yes. That show.
Yes, I forgot. Crimson is here. I should mention lovely Crimson has returned to us, which I'm so happy about. We'll talk later, dear. We'll talk later. Welcome back, dear. Okay. Who's next up?
Halfway through. We're only
halfway through. Been here 2 hours. We're only halfway.
Through. We've got Elfin Lied, guys. Yay! And again, this is another. Seriously, there will not be an anime on here that I have seen until we do the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. That will be the next anime that I've actually seen. Like that's how poor my anime skills are this month apparently. But so I have not seen Elfin Lied, but she delves into the show and kind of discusses how the two main characters, I'm assuming that they're the two main characters, I guess I should say. The one girl has like a bajillion names, and I can't remember what they are, but I remember one of them is like
and Kaede and Niu.
Yeah, and like she's got some like powers, and they're a little bit out of hand, and so she ends up becoming like having to. She like actually meets a kid that this actually makes me sad. I'm like, is this I don't know anything about this anime. You cry during this anime? I was reading this post and it made me feel like this was a crying anime. Is this a crying anime?
It sounds like.
Well, I've seen this show, so I'll give my spill in a minute. But yeah.
Okay, that's
not the happiest of shows.
Because I was like, I'm reading this and it talks about how like she finally like she has these powers and she's kind of like. Nobody like really accepts her, and she finally like meets this one, like makes like this one friend, and ends up getting like jealous and like goes on this killing spree, and not only kills like, everybody around her, but like the kid's family, and then gets like captured, has to go into like research, and her like psyche can't take it, so she like pretends that it never happened, and this boy can't take it, so he pretends it never happens, and in the end, they kind of have to like both. They meet later and they think that they're kind of different people. And then they both finally come to terms to like what happened in their past and things like that. And are able to kind of accept each other then, which, I just feel like I was reading this post and I'm like, I feel like if I watch this anime, I'm going to bawl my eyes out. I feel like it's a sad one. So I'm going to have to, I will watch this sad anime eventually, but I can't watch it while I'm pregnant. I'm already emotional enough as it is. I cried like right now. It's ridiculous. I'm not a crier in general, but like literally right now, I'll see those Jiffy commercials where they're making their little sandwiches, and I'm like, oh, look at them making sandwiches. Like, yeah, so this is on the back burner until the I can't do it. I was even reading this post and I was like, she killed her only friend's family.
I will be honest.
Right? But I think that, but that idea of having to, accept, I think that's one of the hardest things that we have to do as people, to accept mistakes that obviously these are very extreme things that are happening in this show, but just in general to accept that we've made, and then like accept the mistakes that other people have like made that have really hurt us, or like sometimes I think the people that can hurt us the most in life are the people that we are the closest to, you know, our like friends and things like that. And then being able to like, can you forgive them for some of the things that they've done? So yeah, like I was like, this is like, so I like this post and I like the thoughts that brought up, but I'm gonna have to wait to watch this anime until after I'm done being pregnant, because I can already tell it's too sad. I can tell it's too much of a cry fest. I can't do it yet. I'll drown my sorrows.
Lord. So, like Kat, I've never seen this series in my life, ever. Probably won't. I think I've got my fill of sad anime in my life, depressing. But contrary to what Kat said, I did not get teary-eyed at this. I actually think I chuckled a bit when we got to the part where she was like, she killed his entire family just for kicks and giggles. And I was like, oh, snap, really? That's rude. And a lot of it had to do with the lighthearted way that Rai wrote her post. It was really chill. It was like she was having a conversation with us. She had little quips in there. She had little side notes to kind of lighten the mood a bit while you're reading it. I was like, that's cool, because you're talking about a really dark, depressing anime, and I'm here chuckling. And like, even the comments on some of the pictures were like, yeah, she did that, or oh yeah, this just got 10 times worse, and you didn't expect that, did you? So I really liked that. That was actually a really good thing you put on your post there. I appreciate that. Like I said, I've never seen the series before in my life. I've heard a lot about it, though, because it's one of those anime series that people have talked about over and over and over and over again, and they probably will to the end of time. And I'm not going to lie, I'm curious about it. Probably won't start it anytime soon, but curious. And like Kat said, I appreciated the fact that they find acceptance in each other. Despite the murderers and the evil powers and things, he still accepts her for who she is, even without his memories and all the wonderful things that happen along the way. So, yeah, it's nice little story in theory when you don't think about all the murders and killing and, you know. Yeah, I like that post. Great post. Lita, since you've actually seen it.
Yeah,
well, it was Rai surprised me with this post that she picked. But I thought it was very fitting. Elvin Lead is not. Everyone calls it Elvin Lead or Elvin Lied. I call it Elvin Lead, and it's not the happiest of shows. It is a dark. Well, there is a gore, blood spatting everywhere, but underneath it all, there's an underlying, there is an underlying message. There is, and it's, you know, surrounded by the girl, because she's kind of got 3 personas. She's basically considered a mutant. She's an experiment, and when she was younger, as Rai has described, she came across a boy named Kota, and tried to be friends, and when Kaede, that her name was back then, saw him with another girl out of pure jealousy, and it was not, I don't think, for kicks, it was in anger also. She killed his entire family, and because that trauma was so traumatic for Kota, he actually he forced himself to forget about it, and he completely erased it from his own mind. That's what happened. And then, of course, Kaede gets captured by a research facility, and she's experimented on. And then later on, years later, she escapes from that. But she's got 2 personas. Then she has Lucy, who we consider kind of killing Lucy. That's the real her. And then there is this other persona named New. New is basically doesn't know anything, doesn't even know how to eat a rice cracker properly, and basically the 2 come together, but they don't have any idea who each other is, and it's a sad story. But I really love this anime, and it is right until towards the end. Rai describes in a post that they both find Lucy accepts of what she did, that she is a murderer and that she killed a lot of people and did a lot of bad things. And Kota is also bad for the fact that he decided to erase it from his mind, and then when he finally remembered and then just looked upon Lucy as a monster at first, but then after that he accepted that his actions were not right, and that there is a moment in the anime where Kosa hugs Lucy, and it's feel very impactful considering she killed his entire family, yet he still is willing to forgive her. So it's
power of boners, man.
Boner?
The power. Yes, I did. I said the power of boners. I can forget that you murdered my entire family because you're hot.
So every guy who's gonna watch it's gonna get a boner.
I can forget her murdering the whole family.
I heard on the back of it.
Anyway, right, I loved your post. And the cookie that you get is a peanut butter cookie. You get if you like peanut butter.
Yeah.
So she gets a peanut butter cookie.
I do.
I don't like peanut butter.
Any cookie that I don't really dislike.
So I'll add a bit of honey in that one, just like for the oatmeal one. Okay. I'm done.
Next Takuto!
It's Taku!
Taku, and his post on impartiality, or Time of Eve welcomes impartiality through reflection. So Time of Eve is, again, another thing that I've never seen, but luckily he does a really great job of kind of explaining what this show is about. And basically, like, the gist that I get is in this year, or in this world, they have androids, and this kid who like owns an android is kind of like noticing some like weird stops his android is making on her data, so he decides to follow her and check it out, and ends up coming to this place called Time of Eve, which is kind of like a bar kind of chill spot where androids and humans can hang out together, and the only rule is that everyone just has to be equal and cool with each other. And because of this, like having to deal with each other on equal terms, they're able to kind of get to know each other on a more personal level, because they're not in this environment of, he's in charge or better than her because he like owns her because she's like the android or whatever. They're able to just kind of discuss things like openly. And also from a sci-fi point of view, this is why I've always found like robots, like the idea of robots or androids or anything like that, to be kind of like fascinating, in the sense of, if you create something that has their own feelings and thoughts and opinions and can start to, develop these things, then how can you really say that you are like above them? You know what I mean? Like how do you make that distinction of like, oh, well, I'm the human, so I'm the one who gets to be in charge, even though you have like your own feelings and thoughts, but I'm still the one in charge because I'm the one who quote unquote made you. But don't humans make other humans? So don't we just, I just feel like this whole philosophical conundrum going on here, which I enjoy. So this post made me think, and I like posts that really make me question things. So I thought that was cool beans, and I enjoyed it. So nice work, Taku. Keep it up. Keep up the whole beautiful writing business, because it always flows magnificently. So that's what I have to say about that. Next up.
I'm with you, Kat. I've never seen this before. I've heard of it. I've pulled up the movie to watch and never actually watched it. Does that still count as not watching? Because I've looked at the title screen. But I like this post because in it, Taku explains that this was the inspiration for his anime cafe blog theme. And I did not know that. That's actually really cool to learn. Thanks for that tidbit, Taku, wherever you are. You usually show up around now.
Yeah, he does. He usually
Maybe he's been here the whole time as usual.
He's just been quiet. But yeah, like I said, I've never seen this before, but it kind of reminds me of this manga, Yoka. What is it? Hold on, I pulled it up because oh my God, he just appeared.
He's here. dare you? How dare you? You better be smiling and laughing now, mate. You better.
It kind of reminds me of this manga called Yokohama Kaidashi Hiko. I'm sorry, I butcher names. I'm American, sorry. My excuse. But it's also about an android that interacts with humans through a cafe. See similarities. But rather than having this whole power dynamic kind of thing, it's more of a slice of life. This android, she works at a cafe and she just interacts with people. Sometimes she helps them out with plans. Sometimes she helps them out with problems and things like that. And she just gets to know them. She becomes friends with them. And it's really cool, really chill kind of anime. And it doesn't make a distinction between it does make a bit of a distinction between androids and humans and how they're different, how androids will live forever and humans are going to eventually die. But in the moment, they're just people. They're just people who interact with one another. And I'm thinking that's what Time of Eve is getting at. It's people and androids interacting together in a safe space and a unit together without having a fear of being different or being labeled as other. So yeah, that's my take. You get hoots from me. Hoot hoot. Or hey, I'm sorry, I can't do it.
I love it.
All right, but yeah, loved it, Taku. Loved that it was short and sweet too. You are doing awesome with that. Keep it up, please, for me. Lita.
Aha, here we are again, Taku. No. No. Seriously, Dan, that was some friggin' timing that was. He's always here listening in the background somewhere. And by the way, my friend, I did see your tweet. You have been watching The Vision of Escaflowne. I'm highly anticipating a review. I will read it. This is out. I will read it.
Watching The Vision of Escaflowne, you don't say.
Yes. I must say, I really love like these little visual pictures that you make for the blog tours and stuff like you've done for the Time of Eve and previously for that. I wonder what you use because they're really, really good. Just tell me, I really love it. So I have known about the Time of Eve for ages and I'm fully aware of the director behind it. Yes, Yatsuhiro Yoshiura, sorry. It's a really interesting premise because I've seen it on Crunchyroll and I've never really taken like an interest in stuff. And oh no, talking Escaflowne. Shh.
Why'd you do that, Lita? Why'd you bring that up now? Come now.
Exploded now. So I really want to watch The Time of Eve. All these posts keep convincing me to watch all this stuff. I had no idea that this was the inspiration behind your cafe. That was a little fun fact. I actually like the letter that you wrote in this post about from a letter from Ryuko to Sammy, a fan written by Taku. And it's really good. You do have a knack for writing. I said it in the comments I did. It was really good, and I liked the premise of this story, that it's set in a place where the androids and humans or cyborgs more can go and interact, and that the rule is that everyone respects each other and everyone is just sort of like in harmony basically. And I liked that this was an interesting premise because I thought somebody was going to bring up like Ghost in a Shell for this, honestly, for this topic I was. So I really, really liked your post, and it reminded me of another show. It reminded me of Chobits, about like in the show is that's by Clamp, by the way. It's Chobits about like computer like, well, let's say computer android human things called Persona. A Persicom, and the story about the main characters that of how there is one special Persicom out there that is sort of nearly like human there is, and that's what it got me thinking when I was reading this post. So this was a very different direction that you took, Taku. So well done. So what cookie am I going to give Taku? Any guesses? Any guesses? I'm actually going to give my third favorite cookie. I have many favorite cookies. This is actually a muesli and cranberry cookie. Very healthy as well. So it's very healthy. So that is a cookie that you get, Taku. So well done. I loved it. And by the way, I actually found a hoot, a proper one, if anybody can hear. Not really.
Oh.
I was like listening.
Can anybody hear it?
I can just barely hear it.
It's on my phone. It won't work really, but
Hey.
Hold on. I've got it. I'm gonna save. Actually, no, I don't.
What's that talking? That's a freaking tweet, Lita. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk Escaflowne, by the way, mate. We're gonna talk Escaflowne.
Next up on our wonderful tour is
Oh my
this
gosh.
is one of our new ones. This is the first post pop culture literary has done for us, right? Is there
Yeah.
Carla. Yeah.
And
Yeah, this is from this first post.
Mirrors in Wandering Sun, Navigating Visual Gender Norms. I was pumped about this post, and again, it's another anime that I haven't seen, but here's why I was pumped about it. I feel like myself personally, I'm still learning a lot about this being transgender and what that means, and what pronouns that people want to have used, and like all these different nuances. And I feel like I'm not the only person in that boat, because right now, just being able to say like, hey, I'm not comfortable in this, like this is not my gender should actually be male, my gender should actually be female, is actually kind of a relatively, at least for America, new conversation that we're having. So for me, like, this was like I felt like it was a really, like, it opened a lot of doors to a lot of different conversations with this post, because she talks about two characters who are going to school. One was born male but identifies and kind of feels like, or identifies as female, and another born female but identifies as male, and then kind of like the different struggles that they're going through, finding their own sense of self, and then also trying to be accepted by people in their school and things like that, and kind of how even the sense of like the Japanese uniform of the girls having to wear one and the boys having to wear the other, even that is very constricting for them. So I really like this post, because I thought it brought up a lot of really important ideas, and also topics that, again, this is not a subject that I'm super fluent in, because I feel like I'm still learning a lot about this. And I think that a lot of other people are too. So I thought this was a great post for OWLS and what it is that we're standing for. So for it being like your first post, that was really awesome. So that's how I felt about this post. That's my thoughts on that. So hey, it's Naja's day.
Of course it's my turn. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
Of course it's my turn.
Ooh.
Yeah, you guys will be hearing Bokuto in your dreams tonight. It's wonderful. I really like this post. For her debut post, Carla, you did a fantastic job. I don't know if you're here, but you'll watch this later. We'll make sure of that. But you did a fantastic job with this one. Like Kat said, this is an extremely relevant topic, especially given the climate and what's going on with the he who must not be named in his administration right now here in the States. So we'll talk about that, man.
You mean frat face? I call him frat
Or
face.
the crispy Cheeto or the crispy Dorito, whatever they're calling him nowadays. But I really appreciated the fact that she did go into detail about the gender pronouns, or the use of pronouns with transgender individuals, and which were the appropriate terms to use. And Carla did state that while these are fictional characters and she couldn't necessarily ask them for what their preference was, she did choose to use their true gender pronouns when referring to them throughout the post, and I really thought that was a nice touch to put in there, nice little detail. I have not seen this before, but I did hear about it when it first started up a while ago, and I definitely bookmarked it because I wanted to give it a look, but it never got around to it. But it does cover a very interesting topic, how the two characters how they don't identify with their given gender, and their struggles, and how they become friends, and how they both rely on one another to kind of, while they're going through their journeys, while they're going through their situations, and while they don't transition within the series, the idea is kind of broached in how they see themselves. Like Carla mentioned that mirrors play a big role in the overall narrative. When the characters see themselves reflected in a mirror or in some other reflective surface, they see what their true gender is rather than what their physical appearance is. So I thought that was a really great way to kind of tie everything in with not just our theme, but just self-identity in and of itself. Because mirrors are supposed to reflect your soul, your true self, and to have that detail within the show or within the series was a really nice touch, because outwardly they look as, you know, as their natural gender, but when they see themselves through a mirror or through a reflective surface, they see who they want to be, or who they really are, and that's something that was really awesome. Yeah, great post, like really great post. Like I didn't even realize it was that long. I was reading it and I was just like, man, this is a good post. And I saw how long it was, and I was like, heck, I read a whole book.
I'm gonna let this slide.
I read a whole book and didn't realize it. But yeah, it was a fantastic post. I'm gonna give you 2 hoots, hoot hoot, and a hey hey hey. So to Lita.
2 hoots. I would have given her 1,000. Do 1,000 hoots right now.
I can't do that. I wish.
Well, Carla greatly impressed me. This is her first blog tour with us. She is known as the Pulp Culture Library. You guys should definitely go, should definitely go check her out. And just of how long this post was, it looked longer on my phone when I was reading it last night, honestly. Yep. I was like, damn, this is long. But I don't mind long posts. And I actually said to her that I was going to actually cover this topic or this anime for last month's theme. But no, sorry, June's theme. But I didn't, because I'm glad I didn't now, because Carla did it so much more justice than I could have. Because again, I admitted in my post in June that I don't know like much when it comes to the LGBT. You know, there's still so much more to like, you know, learn there is, and I admitted that. And she perfectly paves the way for you in how it is for the aspect of transgender. Obviously, I don't think anybody actually covered transgender in the topic of June. I believe nobody did. Mm-hmm. But this series, you can go watch on Crunchyroll. It's free, and I've heard nothing but good things about this series. And again, Carla did just that. She had nothing but good things to say about this series, of how the 2 individuals that it focuses on, of her going through one by one of how they see themselves in the mirror. They do, like how she talks about clothing, like how clothing plays a huge role in transgender people. But she talks about in the individuals Yoshino, that of how when they look in the mirror, that they can't feel like they overcome change. Like he starts like wearing a bra, and that, you know, just like he looks at himself like kind of in disgust. You know, he wants to be a girl, but going through this sort of like transition for themselves, it's like a huge thing, and it's a hard ideal to overcome. The fact, you know, that he's a boy, but he really wants to be a girl, and this is like a hurdle. So looking in the mirror doesn't kind of help. It makes it more difficult. And it's the same for the other characters. Shu, you know, Shu wants to be a boy, and that, you know, she has a lovely womanly figure, and that doesn't make her feel any better. And like when Carla is referencing about the terms of the word cute, you know, some people don't like hearing the word cute, especially in this case, that, you know, you know, cute has many different like definitions, or we put somebody's labeled as cute. Sometimes it can become more of a burden than praise. And in this case, it felt like kind of like to them, both Shu and Yoshino, felt like a burden. It did. And she brought up a lot of the things I feel on the topic of transgender. And so for that reason, Carla this month gets the favorite sweet treat. Ooh. She gets the chocolate chip cookie. Carla gets the chocolate chip cookie. So Hazel, you better tweet that out and let her know. She gets the
I'm jealous.
Favorites because she did so well in this post. So well done.
Jelly.
Right, on our first comes even.
Right.
Our next post is by Angelina. Does she go by Andrea or just Angelina?
Yes,
Andrea. We'll call it Andrea.
And this is finally an anime I've seen. So I actually knew what was going on in this post. It was very exciting for me. So good job choosing an anime that I recognize. But I did takeaway of this. She talks about two of like the main characters and their different versions of self-confidence. And the one that I related to, so she has Kyon, and he's kind of like more of like this regular like laid back dude, but he kind of has confidence in his own being. And then Haruhi seems like she would be the more confident one out of them because she's like really more outgoing. You know, she's kind of like, they think of like she has all these like weird thoughts and wants to like see aliens and all these kind of things, but she really owns it and is like, I don't really care what other people think, that this is what I like. And so that seems very, very self-confident. But what she points out in her post is the idea of sometimes using self-confidence. So part of but she never lets anybody get really close to her. So even though she seems like happy and like loud and outgoing and all this stuff, you never really get close with her. And that's something that I can relate to, and I feel like I've been like that a lot of my life, especially like through middle school and high school, where I mentioned this before, if you look at like pictures and things of that during that time period, I looked like a very like average kind of a kid, and people always thought that I was like funny and smiled a lot and things like that, but it was really a barrier for me to kind of keep people away so they wouldn't see those moments where I was in a lot of like self-doubt and critical upon myself and things like that. And that is very much how Haruhi's character is in this anime. So I thought that was a really cool point to bring up. And I know Nasha's gonna like this one because this was like, she got straight to the point on this. She was in, out, explained what Haruhi was going on about, and then she was done. So it was a short post too. So I already know Nasha's gonna like that, and she's gonna take it away from here.
I have seen the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzume. I've seen the Disappearance of Haruhi Suzume. I've read all the light novels that we got, etc., etc. Oh no. So I really, really like that I knew what was going on with this post too. I agree. Thank you. Thank you for that. Really appreciate that, Andrea. Sorry. Yes, Andrea. Made the post 10 times better. What I liked is that she talked about the scene where Kyon and Haruhi are in the closed space. It's when Haruhi loses her shit and like erases the entire world and decides to keep only Kyon, which is very telling given the fact that she treats him like her lapdog for most of the series. But Kyon is literally freaking out about this moment. He's like, oh my God, what's going on? Why are we here by ourselves? We need to go back. And the whole time Haruhi's just kind of like, why? This is perfect. Like, I don't understand. We don't need all those other people. We're good. Just, you and me. And that shows how vulnerable and open she is with Kyon, more so than with anyone else. There are a couple of other instances throughout the series where she opens up to him in a way that she doesn't open up to other people. Especially there's a scene where believe it's in one of those episodes where they're like stranded in this murder mystery. They're doing this murder mystery thing, and they're stranded. I don't know if it's a beach or something, on this cave or whatever. They're stranded together, and they have a real bonding moment where they actually talk and they understand one another. And Keon starts to realize that, oh, she's not this crazy chick that I thought she was. There's more to her than meets the eye. And then, of course, they completely erase everything that happened in that episode immediately afterwards, because who needs plot progression? No one does. Not in Haruhi. Relationship? Psh, what relationship? But I just like their dynamic as a whole, and I think she captured that in her post. Like Kat said, short, sweet, to the point, but she drove home that together they accept one another for who they are, regardless. Haruhi accepts Keon for the mopey, louse that he is, and Keon, despite all of his gripes and complaining, he accepts Haruhi for the weirdo that she is, and it's a healthy enough relationship, granted. And that's my spiel. Awesome post. 2 hoots. Hooty hoot.
Hooty hoot.
Hooty hoot. And a hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey. So, Andrea, this was Andrea's first post with us, first blog tour. So well done, Andrea. I really enjoyed your little short post. It's been a while since I've seen the Melancholy Haruhi Suzumiya. It's been a really long time. I liked how you brought up about self-confidence as a barrier, that Haruhi, she's very over-energetic at times, and that it appeared her self-confidence was kind of a shield hiding her real feelings. She never really exposed from memory her real feelings a lot. And I can't remember if I love or hated this series. I think I had mixed feelings about this series. I did. But you brought everything like right to the point, and for that you get a exotic cookie, I call it. I've always wanted to try, actually. It's a red velvet cheesecake cookie. So you get a red velvet cheesecake cookie.
Oh, that sounds good. Right? I would eat that.
Yeah, where's that cookie?
Everyone's gonna be craving cookies after this.
Oh my god. I almost bought some from this grocery store earlier today too. Oh, man, I should have got those cookies. Alright. Who's next?
It's our lovely Lynn.
Lynn.
Yay!
Love Lynn.
And there is for me, cat calling physical beauty and not me. Alright, I'm gonna start this off by saying I have a lot to say. And this is why I have not seen this anime yet. And the reason I haven't seen it is because every time I hear any discussion of this anime, I immediately get angry on a lot of like the premise of it, and like the more I like hear about it, the more I'm like this. Like I'll hear like certain things, and I'll be like, oh, that sounds interesting, and then I'll hear these other things, and I'm like, I want to burn this anime to the ground already. And Lynn's post actually brings up a lot of the things that I've like heard, where I've been like, I am not okay with that. And so the premise of the show, if you don't know, it talks about this girl who's really into like. And like Lynn even says in her post, she was really critical of watching this anime, and for the reasons that she's about to list. But so she's really into like anime and the otaku culture and all this stuff, and she's a curvy girl, and at one point one of her like favorite characters on some show or something like dies, and so she locks herself into a room and doesn't eat for like a week. And even though she's like this, again, like more of a like curvier girl, she comes out, and all of a sudden she's just like this
hot mama
little princess. So in a week, she just all of a sudden just drops a ton of weight, and she's a thin princess. That alone already, like, I'm on Lynn's side here. That alone just makes me mad, because it's unrealistic. First off, it's just unrealistic to think that you can lose that much weight, like in a week, let alone like healthy. Like, there's all kinds of things that are wrong with that. And then when she becomes this, this beautiful swan, so to speak, all of a sudden all these guys who have never given her the time of day are all about her business. And at first she's kind of like, doesn't want to tell them about her otaku ways, because, she's like embarrassed about it or whatever. Doesn't think that they like her as much, but eventually she comes into her own. But my point is this idea, like I find this stereotype is very toxic. I think for males, like this idea that all males just like are sitting around waiting for some like skinny person or something like that. And it's like you can be skinny or you can be curvy or you can be bigger or you can be thinner or you can be muscular or you can be non-muscular. It doesn't matter. Like the person who's going to be attracted to you is just attracted to you for who you are. And this idea that real men have to like this or that is so toxic to males. Like we set them up for failure with this entire like idea of telling them what it is that they should have to be attracted to, and then it's toxic for females because it puts us in this box that we have to fit some sort of stereotype that not all people want anyway. Like, it's just the whole thing is just a conundrum. So it's like already reading this, I'm mad, guys. I'm just mad. So then it like goes on, and within this show kind of talks about how she eventually starts to, you know, again, kind of come into her own and kind of like be her own purchase, which is nice and all that jazz. But it talks about how like now that she like looks in this show's version of better, and I put that in quotes, she starts receiving all this different attention that is kind of unwanted, and Lynn actually kind of takes it kind of personal and talks about her own experiences with like catcalling and things like that. And this is something again that is experienced way too often. Like this is one of those, she talks about in her post how when this main character is at like a con and someone tries to take her picture and she's like uncomfortable about it, how this actually happens like far too often. And she talks about how it makes her uncomfortable watching things like this because it does. It happens way too often in real life for women, for us to be able to watch something like this and find any sort of a comedic effect. Because we really I can't count the number of times where someone they're not trying to be polite or nice or anything like that. They're trying to make me uncomfortable. That's why people do stuff like this. And it does make me uncomfortable. It's kind of scary. And Lynn even brings up a story where she was walking and someone had said that she was, I can't remember exactly what they said to her. Like she was hot and asked for their number or something like that. And her friend were just like ignored it and we're just going to walk forward. And he was like, well, you don't have to be such a bitch about it, basically. Which he actually said to her, which is so like mean and rotten of a thing to say something to another person. You know what I mean? Just because you make people uncomfortable when you say stuff like that, and then to be upset with people for not, you know, for Lynn for not, you know, responding the way you want to, and then automatically calling her this rude name. It's just ridiculous. And so you see this kind of like in this anime, and this is like, again, you know, it's a reason why I'm not sure if I could watch this anime, because for me personally, with my experiences, it hits too close to home for me to find any enjoyment of a scene like that, because I have friends or I have myself experienced things like this where this has happened, where it's like not funny, it's scary. So I thought she brought up like a lot of really, really good points with this anime of, you know, being able to understand that like these instances don't really boost women's confidence, and they don't really, honestly, I don't think that they boost male confidence either. I think it's really like these situations or things are just toxic to both genders. And so that's how I feel about this post. It's probably the longest rant I'll have on this for today, but I don't know, Peach Girl might get me going too, but this one,
oh my god,
I really, really like this post by Lynn. Like, I seriously loved it because she brought up all these issues for me, and I could talk about it all day. Like, by the time I got done with this post, I was like, who was this guy, Lynn? I will find him. I will kill him. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe not. I don't know. I might be serious. I'm pregnant. I'm hormonal. You never know what I'm going to do, to be totally honest. So, this guy better watch out.
Afraid? I am actually a little afraid.
So I'll turn it on to Naja before I get any too more emotional about this subject.
I mean, you guys let me rant about fruits baskets, so I'm just giving you your space on this one. This is also one I haven't seen, but like you said, I've heard a lot about it, and I have issues with that whole biz, the whole biz. I kind of mentioned this with Matt's post, you know, whether or not changing yourself is healthy if reasons. And first, the fact that she lost all that weight in a week because her character died, first off, impossible and messed up. What's also messed up is the fact that these jokers, well, not all of them. There was one guy who liked her regardless. But the other jokers who came out of the woodworks when she became pretty, that's fucked up. Like, I can't even think of a nicer way to say that this is fucked up, man. That's superficial and just ridiculous. It's everything you hate about those rom-coms you see sometimes when they're like, you're so beautiful, I love you so much. What about what's on the inside? Like that movie, what was it? The animated movie, The Princess and the Frog, or not The Princess and the Frog, The Swan Princess. When they ask the prince why he loves Odette, and he's like, she's beautiful. And she's like, what else? What else? And he's like, what else is there? And everyone around him realizes that he's screwed up, and they're just like, what? Like, bro, I could have said anything else.
Like that
moment screwed him over because he couldn't think of anything else, because up to that point, all he saw was this beautiful girl. He didn't care about any of the other crap they'd gone through in their lives. He didn't care about who she was as a person. She was just beautiful. She's a piece of arm candy that he wanted to have a piece of. And for a lot of guys, that is how they view women. They see them as these objects for their enjoyment. They're there for whatever their needs are, and when it comes down to having a conversation with them, or when they say something that doesn't necessarily fit in with that ideal, they cut them off, or they're not acceptable. So that's a problem. This also kind of reminded me a bit of, there used to be this old TV show. It was freaking horrible. It was actually disgusting in its whole premise, called The Swan. And they would take these women, these so-called ugly ducklings, and they would put them through all of this plastic surgery and dieting and exercising. It was unhealthy, the whole lot of it. And they would get them to be these tiny little supermodels, and they'd give them makeup and new clothes, and they'd dress them up, and they'd parade them out, and they'd bring them out, and they'd say, now you're beautiful, now you're a swan. And that somehow made their lives better by giving them this extreme makeover and fixing them, and it was just disgusting. But the idea of changing yourself so drastically just to be accepted by society is just ridiculous. And that's one of the barriers of me ever watching this show. I hear it's not terrible, and there's one decent guy. I think he wears glasses, so, you know, that's double bonus points on his part. But the idea of someone losing weight and then all of these boys taking interest is just ridiculous. I mean, I also understand that it takes place in high school and they're teens, so they're idiots. But that level of superficialness is just disgraceful. Last comment is Lynn brought up about the cat calls. Oh, they do that here all the time. In DC, it's ridiculous. I remember walking with a group of friends, and this guy put his arm out. And at first, we were trying to figure out why was his arm out, because, you know, somebody just walking like this, you're like, what's wrong with them? And he was walking like that so he could try to, like, grab on to my friend and kind of, like, pull her into an embrace. And we're just kind of in shock, like, what? Why would you think that was acceptable? Why would you think that that was something that was going to fly? Why did you think that was something that was going to be okay? And then when we told him off about it, he said that we were being, like you said, bitches about it because we did not accept his affections. It's just kind of, but I shouldn't have to. It's not like you're giving me some kind of gift. You're doing me a favor. You stated your case. I'm telling you politely that I'm not interested. You move on. You don't insult me. You don't get upset because things didn't go your way. And that's just something that needs to change sooner rather than later, because somebody's going to get kicked in the face by me next time I hear someone say something rude just because I don't say hello back. I don't want to say hello. I don't know you. but that's my comment. Excellent post, Lynn. Again, love your short and sweet posts. Wish everyone would take a note out of your book. You know, write me short summaries, give me abstracts or something of your post. You know, hint, hint. But that's it. Lita, you're back with us again. It's on to you.
Yes. I think you pretty much said everything I wanted to. I mean, I was waiting for Lynn to do a post talking about herself. And I was like, oh, right, damn, this is the one. I kind of anticipated it might be. And it made me feel like a little sad, her talking about herself and her experience with catcalling. And we know how men can be sometimes. I myself have experienced that. I'll be honest, my giant bosoms, they attract all
your milkshakes bring all the boys to the yard.
For all the wrong reasons sometimes. And that's been one of my things about myself. Like, I'm just like, I don't know why they're so big. I just don't wish they weren't so big. Sorry, I'm talking about boobs here, guys, but this is real stuff, okay? You know, if you're a girl, this is real stuff. And it's, you know, I'm not going to say it's God's blessing, because it's not always that fun, especially if you're pregnant. They get bigger and they probably just like ache more. I mean, yeah, so I've had my share of catcalling, and I've not been afraid to in the past, usually now. It depends how much they anger me. On one occasion, it's been I've given the finger and F off, and third leader has come out. So yeah, that's really happened. I think I don't think anything like that is going to change. I mean, don't worry. Look, I'm not saying all men are like that. Some girls are like that. You know, they're maliciously like, oh, your hair doesn't look right. It looks like a bird's nest. You really think you're gonna get that guy? He's so out of your league. You know, like you think comments like that is just as bad from the girl's side. It is. So either way, if you weigh it up, it's just both bad all round, really. But you know, the only thing you can do, you know, you may want to say something back, but at the same time, you should stop and analyze the situation and think, is this person really worth my time of giving any nagging to? Or you should, most of the time I've walked on, because you don't want to give those people the time of day. It's an excuse for them to start something. They always want an excuse. And if you give them that excuse, then it will happen. Just that time I felt me saying F off was very appropriate. I guarantee that I was on my own and I was in the city just going to the anime store, and it's randomly out of nowhere, oh, look at those beautiful, he's used some other words which I'm not going to use, but I just politely said in my usual English manner, you know, F off, mate. And he did, so, you know, bye.
I need a recording of that. Just for the
No, you need a recording. You know,
it'll be every time I get a text message, that'll be the noise that is.
Well, if you don't want to use that, I was like, you know, sod off. Go on, sod off with you. So that's being like, in my language, polite when it's not really. But you know, you should be careful how you compliment people, you know, guys and girls. But anyway, Lynn, I loved your post, and I know how much you love chocolate, anything. So I am going to give you a caramel cookie. Ooh. So you get a caramel cookie.
Aww.
That was my food. Not very good.
Our next post, I don't think I will be as ranty on, but I do have to say.
Sorry, different story over here. Different story.
Right? Our second video of this tour. We finally have another member who does videos instead of the blog post. So this is Gigi, and she did her video on reflections on Peach Girl. Again, another anime that I haven't watched. But what she talks about, I know, I feel like, what? I I like
this one.
Get anime and be like I seriously at the end of this tour I was like, have I just never seen any anime? Have I only ever seen Naruto? Like, what is happening with my life right now? Like, what is everything?
This is right up there with like Hot Gimmick and all those other trashy shoujos that came out at the same time. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. So right.
She did her post, and what I thought was interesting about it. Again, I haven't seen this show, but she took her post and she decided to discuss slut shaming, and she used Peach Girl to discuss it. She talks about this scene where that like ends up creating a lot of drama for this girl because another girl ends up taking a picture of her where she's in kind of like a man's shirt, and there's another guy in the room on the bed by her. And there was nothing sexual or anything like that going on. It just happened to be like one of those odd kind of moments. But this girl uses it to her advantage, and is like, you know, if you, like, she basically is kind of using it to blackmail her, and it becomes this big thing within the storyline, because she's like, I'll show this to everyone. Everyone's basically just going to think that you're this horrid girl because you just, like, hang around with all these guys and blah, 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 blah. And it does. It creates all these problems because she, like, does not want this to get out. And it is this idea, this ridiculous standard that we have on relationships. And I can say, like, I'll, like, fully, honestly, like, admit, face forward, like, when I was in high school, I didn't realize that I was slut shaming, but I was. Like, I would do that where someone would like come to school, or I would see somebody, it would be like a girl that I didn't like, and you know, she would be wearing like shorts, and I'm like, oh my god, those shorts are so short, like, you know, to like my friend, like, like, I can't believe it. And at the same time, other girls would do that to like me, where we acted like somehow our personality was in some way part of how we dressed or who we were with. And it was like nobody wanted to talk about, like, talking about sex in like my school. Like, I went to a small high school. I had 60 people in my class. We lived out in the middle of nowhere. Trust me, people were sexually active because there was literally nothing else to do. We had a pool that opened up in the summer, and we had a river, and that was it. And we live in Wisconsin, so for 10 months out of the year, you can't do anything. Like, what are you going to do with your time? Like, what? Seriously, what are you going to do? But it was like this big secret, and everyone liked to pretend that nobody was having sex. And it wasn't that nobody was having sex. It was that none of the girls were having sex. The boys were having all kinds of sex, and it was super We don't know who they were having sex with, though, because it couldn't be any of the girls, and it wasn't with any of the other boys because we were super conservative. Like, it was just ridiculous. Like, it was just this ridiculous standard. And I think just like her point of, we have got to stop judging people on these ridiculous things that have nothing to do with your personality. Like, whether or not you know, like, now I'm not known in any sense of the word of dressing modestly. Like, nobody has ever, if you see me in real life, nobody ever looks at me and is like, oh, Kat, you're such a modest dresser. That's not a thing. I dress the way that I want to dress. I like how that is. I like how that looks. I don't really care what anybody else thinks. Now, it took me a long time to get to this point in my life, but those things don't, you know, to see me and to have this idea like, oh, surprised that I've gone to college because I have tattoos and wear band stuff or whatever, it's a ridiculous thing. Like, you shouldn't judge people based on these things. And it's hard not to in our society, because like I said, I grew up where that was the acceptable thing to do, and I'm glad that I have grown from there. But we do, as a society, we need to move forward from this, because I think we miss out on way too many awesome friendships and opportunities because we're sitting there judging people all the time. So I was like, yes, Peach Girl, I love this video. Preach on, preach on. I should watch this show. And
Yes.
good job, Gigi, because that was great topic to come right out the box for Owl. So I was super pumped. So that's how I feel about that. Second mini rant of the day. Naja,
yes. I have seen Peach Girl. I've read the manga. I even read that stupid spinoff about Saya. I hate her, but you know, it was all there, so I might as well. As someone who has seen the series and read all the stuff that exists, I can honestly say that Saya is a bitch. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I can't even pretend not to say that. She is a horrible human being, and she goes out of her way to just screw up Momo's life because she has nothing else to do with her time other than just be a bitch. And I really don't like using that word, but I reserve it for special people, and she's one of those special characters that just, she's a bitch. No words. She's manipulative, she's rude, she's disrespectful, she puts down Momo at every chance she gets. There's this, early on in the series, Momo's looking at this bag and she's like, oh man, it's so cute, you know, I want to buy it. And here comes Saya, this bitch from the West, and she says, oh, that bag wouldn't, you know, that's not a good bag. It's an ugly bag. You wouldn't look good. It wouldn't look good with you based on how she looks. So Momo's like, oh, okay, you know, you're right. And she puts the bag down. Next freaking day at school, guess who has the bag? And she's getting tons of compliments from all the guys and all the girls. Like, oh my God, she has this great fashion sense. She's so awesome. She's so cute. Meanwhile, Momo is just like, but I had the bag first. You told me you didn't like it. And Saya's like, oh, well, you know, I saw it and I just thought, why not? You know, why not get it? And she does that constantly throughout the series. Like every other minute, she will undermine Momo at every turn. And Momo doesn't have the most confidence. Like Gigi said, and in the series, she used to do swimming all the time. So being out in the sun and the chlorine, it made her hair turn this weird orange color. And her skin is super tan from all the sun. So she doesn't look like what a traditional beauty would look like, I guess, by Japanese standards, being, you know, fair skin with cute appearance. She's tall, she's tan, she's like one of those, what's the word? Ganguro girls? Yeah, that's it. She's not what someone would think of as beauty. So she's been in love with this guy forever in a day. And she wants to be with him, but she finds out that he doesn't like girls who look like her. So that kind of keeps her from moving forward with her confessions and talking with him in a way. And I forget how she does it, but she finally gets it up the courage to talk to him. And they actually start going out, and they have a pretty decent relationship. I don't like him. I don't like those two together. I like her with Kari better, but another rant for another day. She ends up with the guy of her dreams, but Saya comes and she literally ruins everything. And when when Momo's with this guy, what's his name again? Toe something. When she's with the guy of her dreams, she's not being true to herself. She's being who she thinks he wants in a girl. And when in reality, he just likes her for her, and he would like it if she, you know, she was just who she was. But she spends all of her time trying to be something she's not to kind of please him, because she thinks that's what he wants. Meanwhile, there's another guy, Kyrie, who literally loves this girl for everything that she is. He doesn't care what she looks like. She doesn't care that she's weird. He likes her for her. And at one point, he's kind of an antagonist because he's trying to break Momo up with her boyfriend. But he generally cares for her. And when things get tough, he's always there for her. He has her back. He stands up to Saya for her. He's just a perfect dream. And I'm so glad she ends up with him at the end, because he deserves her. but this was probably, like I said for a couple of the other ones, this is a really great anime to choose for this topic, because Momo's struggles with her identity, with her physical appearance, with all of the things that she goes through in this series, perfectly fit in with our mirrors theme. What is beauty? What is self-acceptance? She fits the mold for all of that. And at the end, she finally does accept herself. Not completely, fully, but she does come into her own. And a lot of it is thanks to Kyrie and his support of her throughout the series. And of course, she finally gives Saya the big middle finger when she just screws her life over. But yeah, awesome video. It was short. I really liked it. And definitely love Peach Girl. One of those series I watch over and over again because I just like the trashiness of it all. But Lita,
yeah, so Gigi is new with us, Anime Palooza. I've known her for at least a couple of years now, so happy that she decided to join our team, and she covered Peach Girl. I kind of was anticipating she would, because I think it was about a year ago, we did a collab piece together, and we sent each other packages, and she sent me, I was not expecting, she sent me Peach Girl. And yeah, I enjoyed all the shoujo trashiness that the show fully is. But it speaks a message about that, you know, girls, you know, you see a photo of a girl, or you walk in and there's, you know, say there's your friend or your guy friend, and then there's your friend that's a girl, and like say she's like, you know, half undressed, or her hair's wet and he's like fully clothed, you would expect something's about to happen. That's just for example. And all this presumptions, I can't talk today. All the presumptions that people do, especially when it's not always guys, it's always more for girls as well, you know, especially girls can get nasty on that side of things, definitely. But you know, some of how it appears, you know, I've been judged because I got a tattoo on my arm. You know, like it makes me look rebel. Looks like I'm doing weed. I've said that. Someone said to me, so you're on crack. I'm like, I'm a fully clean person, I'll have you know. That's what I said. So I get judged by my tattoo. I don't think anybody's seen my tattoo.
No, I have not.
Oh, okay. I'll have to take a photo. I can't show you right now. But
ooh, stripping.
No, excuse me. No way.
Our views go up by like 1,000.
Oh, but I love Gigi's video. I loved her sheer honesty in it. She talked about herself, about what she's experienced in her love life, and how it is from a girl's perspective. Sad for us girls. And I loved hers. Actually, hers was my favorite from this tour. I'll say it was. I just love the sheer honesty she gave. So I think for her cookie, she will get a lemon and basil cookie. Now I know she actually doesn't mind lemony things, but I've had these cookies before and they're actually considered healthy and they're really nice. Like got a really sweet factor to them. So she gets lemon and basil.
Ooh, that's an interesting combination.
Yeah, like I kind of try it. Like I feel like it's like a
gourmet cookie.
Yeah.
This is like a gourmet cookie. So Andrea got an exotic cookie. She gets a. She gets
fancy. Fancy cookie.
Well, you guys will be. We are literally on. We're hitting the home stretch, people. We have 2 more left to do. The next one is actually mine, which is Mir and Haruhi Fujioka. And I decided to talk about Ouran Host Club. And the reason why I decided to talk about Haruhi, she's actually she's definitely one of like my favorite characters ever. Like I just loved her character. And when I saw this show, I watched the anime before I read the manga, and I immediately had to read all of it because I needed to find out what happens. Like I was like, I need to know everything that happens in their lives. And with Haruhi, like I knew I was going, there are a few shows, I'm actually really kind of picky. It takes me a while to warm up to a show. And there have been shows where, I mean, like if you take Fairy Tail, I didn't get into Fairy Tail until the Phantom arc. Like that's how long it took me to be like, I actually love this show. Like I just am like really, it takes me a while to like warm up to a show. And because I actually have a rule that I have to watch 5 episodes of a show before I give up on it. Because it takes me such like a long time to warm up sometimes to a show. But when I watched Ouran Host Club, and this has only happened like twice in my life, and the other time was with Haikyuu because it's beautiful and gorgeous and everything about it is perfection. From the first episode of Ouran Host Club, I was like, I love this show automatically because of Haruhi. And what it was about her, what I really enjoyed about her, was her just confidence in herself. It's something that I really, really envy in people, and especially at like at her age, to have this sense of self of just and she's so nonchalant about everything. And you know, sometimes the characters will give her a little bit of like heat about it, like acting like it's just because she's not like an active heroine. But I think it's really because she really has this confidence in herself of, I'm gonna do my own thing. People who appreciate it are going to be drawn to me, and I will make those friends, and that will be awesome. And that's the end. Like she's just very like this. And when you even ask her, at first they assume that she's a boy because she's wearing kind of like a bulky sweater and she's got like short hair, and she seems dressed like a boy, and when they find out she's a girl and they ask her, like, what the heck? How did this happen, basically? Like, why is character like this? She's very just even, like, nonchalant in her answers. Like, I got gum in my hair, so I cut it out. Seemed easiest. Like,
Yeah.
The uniforms here are $1 bajillion. I don't have that kind of money, so I wore my sweater. Like, I don't really care. And she's not, like, ashamed, like, in any sense. And when they talk about even, like, the fact, like, you know, she's this poor kid at this super rich school, I always love that when they're kind of making fun of, like, her poorness, where they're like, oh, we're gonna try instant coffee for the first time. She's, like, instead of, like, being, like, embarrassed with the fact, like, oh, she's poor and then whatever, she, like, sits there and she's, God, I hate rich people. Like, she's just, like, she just doesn't care. Like, she's just gonna be herself. And then you see even as a child with her dad, who likes to cross-dress, she was never ashamed of her dad. She was always just like, this is just how our family is, and it's awesome, it's great, and I love it. She was just totally accepting of it. And I love that type of confidence, and I see that in people, and when I see that in others, I'm really drawn to it, because I think that is a very true sense of strength, to be able to be so accepting of yourself. It's hard to be like that, and so I just think it's beautiful when I see that. So I love that show for that reason, and that's why I chose to do it for this tour, and that's all I have to say about this. So it's not just fun.
I absolutely love Around High School Host Club. I have loved that series since the first time I read it years ago. I remember when they were saying it was going to end, and I was just so geeked for it. I remember, like, literally binging the entire series just to get to that last chapter, which was so totally worth it. Oh my god.
It was. Oh my god, it was beautiful. Okay, sorry, but it was.
It was perfect. I'm not gonna lie though, I kind of liked Hikaru, and I really would have liked him and Haruhi to end up together.
I know. I had some serious fears. I mean, I was happy with
that
ending.
Second lead syndrome was wrong with that one. He was. God, at first I was like, who is this Joker encroaching on my man Tamaki's territory? And then I actually got to meet him, and I was like, damn, I can't choose. Why do I have to choose? Can she have both? Damn.
I know. I felt that way. I'm like, maybe this turns into just a harem. Like,
he wanted her so bad. He tried. Ran into Tamaki, and I was like, yeah, I knew it was happening, but still. But I digress. I really like Haruhi. She made the series for me. Usually when you get a shoujo protagonist, they are either one of two things. They're either weak-willed or idiots. You don't really get much of an in-between. I mean, they've gotten better over time, but usually they're not intelligent or wishy-washy, or both, which is a trifecta. But Haruhi, she stands out from the rest because not only is she intelligent, but she doesn't really care about what others think of her. She's never been one to just kind of follow the crowd. If everyone's going right, she'll go left because it's most likely the smartest move to make, or it's just easier for her. It's more convenient. She's the kind of girl who clips coupons to go shopping for groceries. She's thrifty. She doesn't necessarily fall prey to any of the guys in the host club's good looks. She's just kind of like, y'all are being weird. Like, girls are fawning over Tamaki, and she's like, you're being weird, go sit in the corner. She's just really upfront, and she's really real as a person. And she's always had this kind of self-confidence about herself. She knows who she is, and she doesn't try to pretend to be anyone else. However, I will say this, as strong-willed as she is and as great of a protagonist as she is, she does have some insecurities and some fears and things. They aren't as prominent as some other characters. They're not something that you would notice, which is why, despite my love of Hikaru and all things that he is, Tamaki is probably the best match for her and in a partner, because, I'm sorry, I'm spoiling it for you guys if you haven't read it already or seen it. Tough nuggets, but that's why he's the perfect partner for her, because he accepts her as she is. I mean, yeah, when he finds out she's a girl, he's like, oh my god, you're a female person. But he accepts her for all that she is, and he kind of makes up for all of the things that she isn't. he's the lighthearted, fun guy, and while she's the more serious, grounded person, he lightens things for her. He makes things easier for her. I mean, he does have his moment. He does have moments when he is a bit more of a senpai, and he's actually like, no, this is how things are. He's kind of serious, but for the most part, he kind of balances her in a way no one else could, and vice versa. They see each other for who they are, all the good, the bad, the crappy stuff they go through, the weirdness, and they make a perfect match thing there. And it's not that they change for each other, it's they just accept each other as is.
Each other. Like, I think
Yes,
that's like,
they do.
I love it. Like a perfect, they bring out the things that that need to be brought out in each other.
Yes. That is exactly what I'm trying to get
It's one of my favorite relationships because I do feel like it's such a partnership. And like because they do like that. Oh, the ending. Good. I can't.
Oh my god, that ending. I was just like, yes, finally.
Right?
Finally. Like, after all this stuff. And then he was like, I don't know if I love her as a partner or as her dad. I was like, bruh, it's love. I was like, you love her. Go get her. And everybody's like, yeah, you're in love with her. You're an idiot. He's just like, no, I can't be. What is this feeling in my chest? Oh my god. She's like my daughter. I can't have these feelings. Like, bruh, go get her. Please go get her.
Run to her.
And the same thing happened with Hari. She had to come to terms with her own feelings. That is the end of my spiel. Lita, it's on you.
Yeah, so I liked your post, Kat. It's been some time again since I've seen Ouran High School Host Club. I really liked Haruhi, and you brought up all the things that I like about her. That she's confident, and she dresses as a guy so she can attend the school. And it was funny. I didn't even pick her as a girl back then because it was one of my first early animes. It was first early 10 animes actually. And I wouldn't have picked it. So I really enjoyed your post. And we have to think of what cookie you can have because I know that you're a vegan. So you get a vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free chocolate chip cookie.
Woo!
Too. Because I have had one before and it's actually pretty good.
Huh,
it's actually really good.
Combination of cookie there.
Yeah, it is. I can't remember what was even in it, but it did taste like chocolate chips. So I hadn't forgotten that you're vegan and everything, Kat. So I pay attention to all the little details. But yeah, you pretty much said what I thought about Ouran High School Host Club, and I really want to read the manga for it because I need more. I do need more. I do need to read the manga. Yes. So.
Yes. You must.
Yes.
You must.
Woo! Okay.
Oh.
Are we at the finish line? We're at the finish line, aren't we? One more.
Yes. More by Mooned. It's Fujita Tara. And said, I have to change. And this is another anime that I have not watched because that's the theme.
Well, because it's currently airing.
It's
currently airing right now. Welcome to the ball.
But I do like that. Like, I read it, and here's what I like. Here's when I finish this post, like, the idea that I liked about it is the idea of a person just making a choice that they're going to change, not because someone's making them be someone that they don't want to be, but because that they're trying to kind of find themselves, and they realize, like, in order to kind of grow as a person, I need to like make some changes in my life, and then that he kind of becomes the controller of his own destiny. Like, this idea of I'm going to make a change kind of leads him to discover different things about himself and to kind of try new things. And he kind of gets into dance, which is something that he probably wouldn't have done if he hadn't made the choice to change and try to experience new things. And he ends up really, really enjoying it. So, and like, I like that. I like that idea of a character, and I like that idea of, kind of this idea that sometimes you just gotta, as my history teacher says to say, gotta get or get off the pot. You gotta just decide what you're gonna do, and do it. And you have to do it for yourself. Like, you can't just do this because you feel like everybody else is gonna like you because you do it. You have to do it because you feel like you would actually really enjoy it. Otherwise, there's just no point in doing it. So I like that. I like that idea. That's all I have to say.
All right, my turn. I have heard about this anime. I heard it's freaking awesome. And when I was reading this, I couldn't help but think, oh my gosh, this is like Yuri on Ice. But instead of ice skating, it's dancing. It's ballroom dancing. Similar journeys for the protagonists. They were both, well, kind of. The protagonist isn't really a dancer, but he decides to take it up after seeing someone do it and they're gung-ho-ness about it. I really like the idea, like Kat said, of doing something for yourself and not for other people, but also still finding enjoyment in it regardless of the reasons for doing something. Great post. Definitely a great first post from Mooned. Really liked it. Made me want to see the show because they have been talking about the show for a while now. Actually, they've been talking about it since before they started with OWLS, so I'm definitely going to add this to the list, and it's a fantastic post. You get 2 thumbs up and hoot hoot and a hey hey hey. And that's my spiel. Did you just me? No.
Yes. Welcome to the ballroom. Sorry, I've given my spiel now. Naja's over and done with.
All for you, Lita. All for you.
Yes, all for me. I get to wrap this stream up. Anyway, I was gonna say how far you got on that blanket. Mooned,
Not very far.
This is Mooned again. This is Mooned's first post with us. So happy we have all these members. Makes me so happy.
Yeah.
I liked this layout of this post. I have to first say. She didn't even mention it was about the welcome to the ballroom or anything like that.
Surprise.
I don't even know if Mooned's a he or a she. Is that bad of me to say? I don't even know if Mooned's a he. I don't know. So Mooned. So I'll just say Mooned. We'll use third person here. So Mooned just started off just saying this. There is a young Japanese teenager who's troubled in his life choices. I like the layout of this, and then by the end of it, Mooned ends up saying his name is Fujita Tarata, and he once said I have to change, and he is from Welcome to the Ballroom. I love that layout. That was really clever. Really draws you in. I heard about this series from a fellow YouTuber friend. They really loved the manga, and then when I heard it was getting an anime, I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Another sort of sports anime. Well, Dad, I never thought I would see the day of an anime about ballroom dancing, and it's taken and it is whirlwinded up a storm. It has. Certainly.
There's an anime about playing Go. There can be one about ballrooms and figure skating. So let's not put it past anybody.
So I really liked how they just walk us through so far in the anime, because it's only just airing still. It's only like an episode 6 or something at the moment. And how it's already made a kind of an impact about how this certain individual just I'm nearly gonna forget the guy's name, Fujita, how he wants to try and make a change for himself. And that's what the post is really about, wanting to just make a change for yourself and not for anybody else. And I know I'm fully going to enjoy this anime. I know I'm so going to. So Mooned, well done. I really, really loved your post. I loved it a lot for the layout as well. So to wrap things up, we should epic cookie that I can think up in my brain. But I've already given away the most epic cookie, which is, a chocolate chip.
Those combination cookies.
Combination cookie. No, let's just make up one. So we're gonna it's gonna probably be a bit like boring, but we're gonna do raspberry, because I've had it before. And we're gonna do raspberry chocolate chip cookie. So you get raspberry chocolate chip cookie.
I like this.
Yeah.
Maybe not the raspberries, but the chocolate chips I can dig.
It's very yummy. It's very refreshing.
I think it's amazing. So I approve of this raspberry. I approve. And that is our last person. So that's like the end. So we'll do our kind of like sign off. So I am again Kat Charday. You can find me at grimgirl.com, and that's where I do all my OWL posts and other posts when I am posting things. And then I'm also on Twitter, and that's Kat13 Charday, and my name is spelled S-A-D-E. Please don't ask me why it's pronounced Charday, even though it's no H and no R. It's an issue of life. All this need to accept it and move on. It's Charday. So we hope to see you guys on our next OWLS blog tour, and that is actually already starting, and it's this month in August. And I can't remember who was our first person to post this month, because I know that they've already posted.
Wait, was it Taku?
Yes, it's Taku. He's first, and then it's Brandon.
Okay. And then that.
Yes. So
go check out Taku's post right now on bloodlines. And our prompt this month is family means everything, or does it? This month we will be discussing the importance of family relationships in anime and pop culture. Family relationships include a child and his or her parents, sibling rivalries, adoptions, etc. Some questions about family that we will be contemplating include how one's family shapes his or her identity. How do we define family? How does a broken household influence a person's view on family? We will be exploring these questions and types of relationships in this blog tour, so enjoy. So go check out Taku's right now because this is out, and look forward to the rest of our stops this month. And you can check out when our stops will be on our official OWLS bloggers website. But that's my spiel. Naja, take it away.
Come on, stop crocheting.
Stop. But I'm Naja. I go by PokeNinja90 on WordPress. I run the Otome Games blog, Night Stop Breaking It Hero. That's www.bakfoontyphoon.wordpress.com. Yeah, it makes no sense, but I thought it was funny at the time. I'm also on Twitter. It's at BeckNaja. It's my name in reverse. And I have an Etsy store where I make adorable dolls. I would show you some, but all the cute ones are not in arm's reach. So, actually, wait. No, they're not. I have the stuff on them. Yes, I count. But yeah, I'm also head of PR. I'm the mastermind behind the WordPress blog, Twitter, Facebook, and something else. You got something else, don't we? The YouTube channel. Though I don't run them on a regular basis. I have minions for that. Trying to think, is there something else I'm forgetting?
And you always like respond to the people who.
Yes,
like,
I respond to direct questions. Direct questions. Do not send me a message in a group chat because most likely I won't see it and I won't respond. If I can answer your whatever it is with okay or sure, I usually won't respond. So come to me with something legit if you have an issue or something going on. If you want to join OWLS, just use our contact page on our OWLS blog, which is owlsbloggers.wordpress.com. We have a contact page. Just put your information in. You'll get an email within a few days of your application. We just ask that you have an open mind and you be an otaku blogger. You don't necessarily have to blog about anime, but nerdy things are accepted. Pop culture is accepted. You just have to have an open mind and be willing to be down with the OWLS themes and things. I'm saying this is my little dull thing. It's just like bobbing along. Yeah, that's it. I don't think there's anything else I need to say. Not especially. Yeah, they're minions, Scott. Everyone in PR is a minion. But yeah, if you have a question or you want to talk to any of us, just hit us up. That's it. Lita.
So I'm Lita. I don't really have to say what I do usually, and I hope everybody enjoyed this stream, even though it was really, really long. It's the usual for us. It's the usual. And yeah, that is all for this time, guys. We'll see you in the August end of live stream, which will be in like 3 weeks. It'll fly by, trust me. And yeah, we'll see you guys then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.